Good evening, everybody. This is Dave Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson. Thank you again for joining me on this prime time on this evening. This is June the 14th, 2023. Thank you guys. Tonight I'll be talking about the mail-in protest. You guys know that's been going on for a few weeks now. It's a continual efforts to get justice in my son's case. To have my son's case moved over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Still working hard for that, you guys. Something I'm not giving up on until those things are being made. Tonight, also, we will talk about the Unity Candlelight Vigil for geologist Daniel C. Robinson. That is also for other families of the missing. I'll be talking about that as well, how you all can participate, and the importance of this Candlelight Vigil. You guys know it coming up to the 23rd is coming up to the point where my son has been missing for 2 years. I did get another tip that I was working on over a few days ago. So far, it's not fanning out to be Daniel, but it's still not giving up hope. So, you guys, the efforts are still there. We're still going to fight, try to bring Daniel home before the 23rd of this month. Every day bring me a day closer to finding my son, so I will be doing that. Also, I'm going through one. I was going to go over to the through the police report, but tonight I'm not going to do that so much. I will wait till the next Q&A. I'll wait till after. Again, you guys, I want to make sure that we're kind of staying more focused towards, Daniel, who Daniel is. So I will be talking about, like I said, the Unity Candlelight Visual. But tonight I do want to share one audio with you guys. I may share this audio of the 25th, 2 days after Daniel went missing. I do have audio where of myself talking with law enforcement, the Buckeye Police Department. After I'm just exhausted of trying to beg and plead these officers to go out to the desert to search for my son, looking for hope and trying to get the law enforcement to go out there just to go search. You guys get this helicopter out there in that desert. Of course, you guys know they denied the flight. And also, this recording will show you guys where my questions was to law enforcement, who in turn told me that they was not actively searching for Daniel. Only thing they was concerned about having them on the missing person report, and also the NIC or number they have there in case Daniel get pulled over. Of course, I also would know he's been reported missing. But outside of that, there was no active search for Daniel. There was no plans for a helicopter search. So those things are consistent with everything I've been said at the beginning. Law enforcement Buckeye decided to release reports and things, and I'm going to start releasing some of mine. So you guys, also, I just wanted to make sure you guys are doing well. So of course, while we're talking this evening, I want to start off, you guys, if I could. If you guys are here right now, hear my voice, please, when I come back from the starting this session, this live stream, I want to see some of the things in the chat. You guys tell me how you're doing. I asked before, just say, hey, I'm doing well. How your day going? Or whatever you want to say. I really am concerned about you guys. How do you feeling? I'm doing okay. My family's doing okay. Of course, we're having our challenges, other challenges in the family as well, as Daniel been missing. But we're making it through. So I see you guys on the other end. Thank you so much for coming in. When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family. without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search. Thank you again, everybody, for coming in this evening. David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson, my son Daniel, a geologist that graduated from the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. My son graduated with honors. My son took his degree and landed out in Phoenix, Arizona, where he wanted to start his career in life. When he wanted to spread his wings, leaving the bird nest of his father and his mother in South Carolina to branch out on his own. And Daniel was doing very well for himself. So you guys, on June 23rd, 2021, after he's been working with a company called Matrix New World, also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, an engineering company that hired him as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. On that date, he went missing. He was assigned to two well sites to go to that day, and you guys who have been following the story know what happened from that point. He made it out, according to the only person that was out at this well site, the second well site, waiting on him. According to him, Daniel met him on the side of the road. They had a brief conversation. That was one stop. And then he followed this guy, Ken is his name, into the desert, 1 mile north, west, 2 miles north, to get to this well site. That's the second stop. And he said he made it at that well stop around 9 o'clock that morning. And Daniel had a conversation with him for about almost 15 minutes before Daniel waved that off to him and drove off, never to be seen again. As you guys know, according to Dane's phone record, he called Ken at 9:28 after the 9:15 mark. But we don't know what happened from that point. According to the Buckeye Police Department, they utilize the Mile IQ app. You guys know that I have a disagreement with that based on information I got from the owner of the app and also the spreadsheet that I also have. Um, but nevertheless, he said the cell phone ended up in the ravine at 10 o'clock, roughly 10 o'clock, 10:08, I believe, or something like that, they say. And so we're going to have to, from that point, try to figure out what happened between 9:15, 9:28, when Daniel called, and 10 o'clock when they claimed this phone was in this ravine. Okay, so anyway, we're not going to go into that deep dive, but I just wanted to give y'all the outskirts of that. Daniel's vehicle showed up almost 30 days later, according to a rancher who found Daniel's vehicle. He was in that ravine 2 days prior. The vehicle wasn't there. And then 2 days later, he came back through that ravine again to see if his cattle came through. He's a rancher, of course. He have cattle, wild Roman cattle, and the vehicle was there. That's why he reported it to law enforcement, which ended up being my son's vehicle almost 30 days later. You guys know the scene, the vehicle lying on the side in the 20-foot ravine. And if the vehicle was there at 10 o'clock that morning, and the first accident happened around 1, according to the data of the vehicle itself, around 1 o'clock. It took 3 hours for that vehicle to come from the top of that ravine down to the bottom. Nevertheless, it turned over to its side, you guys, and there was clothing 3 feet away from that vehicle that law enforcement said belongs to Daniel, something that the family we do not recognize, but nevertheless, they saying that Daniel's clothing was in the pile. According to the Buckeye Police Department, early on, before any evidence was pulled or any forensics done or any other evidence, the police department feel like it was there for 30 days. and also that Daniel did not, when he wrecked in that vehicle that day on the 23rd, according to Buckeye Police Department, he didn't sustain any injuries. He had a seatbelt on. There was no blood found in the vehicle. They didn't see any blood in the vehicle. But at the same time, they felt that he had a severe brain injury, head injury. He kicked his way out of the sunroof that is required to be opened by a key, you guys, that you had to get off the back of the vehicle. He kicked his way out of there, shredded his clothes because of the brain injury. He went up under a tree somewhere, because he thought it was hot. While he shredded his clothes off, he went up under a tree somewhere to cool off, where he probably succumbed to his injury and got taken away by animals. The later theory was that Daniel somehow may have just wanted to be away. He's masterminded all of this, you guys, and he wanted to be away from his family just that much that he joined the monastery to become a monk. I'm just paraphrasing, but those are things that was told to me up front. Of course, you guys, that caused me to hear that ludicrous story, caused me to get my own private investigator who read the data, the black box data that was given to him by the Buckeye Police Department, because they told him in his face that they were not investigating, and they gave everything over to him. But once he mentioned when he was come up there to pick up the item, pick up that report, and he mentioned what his intentions was to do with this vehicle to get answers. He relayed to the officers that he will be taking the dashboard apart, having it sent to California for analysis of the infotainment system. That's when the problem came. The Buckeye Police Department then refused, after they gave the vehicle over to me, refused to turn it over. They was holding it hostage. They talked to their city attorney, who said I would have to come up and sign for it. So I came up there to sign for it just to get that vehicle out of their compartment, out of their department. They told me it was just to release it. I just needed to sign this paper so they can release it over back to me again. So those things is so that's where we're at right now, you guys. It's been almost 2 years, like I said, coming up on the 23rd, that Daniel has been missing. I've been actively searching for him from day one. You guys will hear the recording that I have today, how painful it was. This was on almost, it's 3 days, almost over 24, over 48 hours later after Daniel went missing. I was in total pain, you guys, traveling, trying to stay at a hotel to rest and try to deal with law enforcement at the same time as I was headed up to Arizona. They first told me they wasn't going to send a helicopter search. Of course, I've been fighting that whole entire day trying to get them to do so. And that evening, I called again, and this is where the recording come from, when I was out and talking to the officer again. I've been calling all day, you guys. Called at night, and there was a new officer answered the phone. Of course, was taking over from that point, and he gave me some information that you guys should know. Again, it goes back to the story I've been telling you guys at the beginning. There was no search for Daniel, on outside of the fact that even I have the Officer Cruz, you guys. Y'all will hear a lot of stuff later. I'm gonna start releasing some things to you guys. Officer Cruz related to, it was him and another officer was riding up down Sun Valley Parkway, which I didn't know at the time what that was, but they told me what it was, the roadway, to see if he was stuck on the side of the road. There was no desert searches on the first day. There was no desert searches on the second day. There was no desert search on the third day, you guys. And what I'm saying is, this also would tell you guys he's the night shift officer. All the officers, Officer Cruz and the rest of those guys, Haley, that I've spoken to, that's not even in the report for whatever reason. They told me about this canceled flight. They took off, went home, and only to my auntie, when I made it near Phoenix, near the 26th of June. That's when they say, which I don't see any proof. They said on 25th, but it's impossible from what this officer said late in that evening. But they saying that this helicopter's in the air. Something I have right now, girl, you guys, I'm going to share with you on this next week on the next Q&A after all this the Candlelight Vigil, because I want to show you guys a lot of things that I do have according to law enforcement. Just, to me, in my opinion, feel like they're just making things up because it just don't go along with everything that actually happened in those days, those first early days. So the report is what I'm saying, you guys. Also, you guys, I keep receipts. But the thing is, you guys, tonight, like I said, I really want to focus on this mail-in protest, as well as this the Candlelight Vigil, the Unity Candlelight Vigil, and just a little part of this audio recording that I have. But I want to go in the chats real quick. Thank you guys for coming in. I wanted to put a couple of you up. You guys have noticed I don't have a green screen up this time because I figured the problem is I've been working going back and forth with the internet provider, uh, thinking it was their problem, thing is my computer. I did it all, you guys. And the problem is the platform that I'm utilizing. I did talk to Gizla K, Grizzly True Crime. She was expressing some of those sentiments as well with the platform that I'm currently using. It's the green screen. It's a green screen. When I utilize this green screen, I guess it uses a lot of bandwidth that their system is something with their system slows up the internet. As you guys know, I'm not stalling, I'm not doing all that. So that's why you just see the background, my curtain. I just went ahead and took the green screen down. So things look a little different. I will add some little things to make it more towards what I'm really here for, and that's for my son to make sure that he's the center and focus of everything. Tracy, thanks so much for being here. Hello to you as well. Darcy Miller, thanks so much for being here. T and Wildflower, thank you so much for being here, constantly supporting, also moderating. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much for being here. Hello to you as well. Thank you. Okay, again, Ms. Miller, thanks so much. Thank you so much for being here. PM Channel, thanks for your constant support. I truly appreciate you as well. Tracy, thank you so much for being here. Okay, some the same. Thanks, same names. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. That's really supporting and being here. I truly appreciate you. Also, yep, another Maria. Thanks so much for being here. Stories with LJ. Thank you so much for being here. Mary Ellen, thanks so much for being here. And thank you for that hashtag. I want to go back real quick. Thank you for that hashtag. Hashtag justice for Daniel. Thanks so much for putting that there as well. Mary Ellen, thanks so much for being here. Thank you, PM Channel again. Karen Lee, thanks so much for being here. Hope for the missing. Yes, we're gonna have a lot of hope for the missing. We're gonna keep praying for the missing as well, you guys. Thank you so much for being here as well. Let's see who else I got here. Diane, thanks so much for being here off the Facebook side. And let's see who else I got. All right. Sharon Parker, thank you so much for being here. And if you guys have any questions as I'm coming back and forth the comment section, those who come here have been on the live many times before, to put the capital letter Q first, the word question or some question marks before your question. And it definitely would help. I want to put this comment up here. I just happen to see a comment here. And let's see here. Can I put that up? Thank you, Karen Lee. Excellent video, compelling, engaging, great music. I tweeted it yesterday. Find Daniel Robinson. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I wanted to put something together that kind of throws in the efforts as well as putting Daniel there as the reason why we're here in the first place is to find him. So definitely wanted to do something different, and also I wanted to reflect that this is a movement to help all families. Saying one thing for sure, you guys, you will hear on the audio as well, the pain that families go through at the just learning that their loved one is missing, and you just don't know what to do, those type things. So I also wanted something that will reflect this channel. This channel is also to help other families and have other families come on, eventually more families to come on, and to be able to share their stories, have a place they can share their stories, and also have a place to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, it's very hard, as I keep saying over and over again, to keep a story alive out there, you guys. First of all, some people don't even get their stories heard in the first place, but to have it heard and then to keep it heard is hard. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, you guys, the local news media may pick up a story, say, hey, this person's missing. And then after something else happened, somebody stumped their toe or something on some celebrity or something. And that'll just change the whole narrative. And then that story just kind of get buried under everything else. It disappears. And that's the problem because, as long as there's an active story out there of a missing loved one, law enforcement tend to act upon that case, right? get a little more action. And people start being more engaged, start asking questions, start calling law enforcement, say, hey, what about this case? What about this person? Have y'all found this person? And not just the family doing it, but it's also those out there in the community, and because they're engaging, it's important. It's important to keep the story there, and also because you guys is also reaches out to people or persons that may know something about what happened to this person, or why they are missing, etc. And that'll help with law enforcement and the family. So it's always encouraging when people are sharing these stories. Like I said, because it helps other families. We can't do it all. We can't get on every platform and do it. We can't reach every person by ourselves. We might not even be popular. May never even have a social media page in the first place. And some people have thousands of followers, and some have only 10 or something. But you're trying to reach that one person. But we need people who have many followers, and share those stories so they can share the story and just keep going and going and growing. So thank you so much, Karen, for being here. Let's see who else I have here. Swans, thank you so much for being here. Um, Thank you from South Korea. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you coming out and joining in. Thank you so much. God bless you. I don't know what the time difference is there, but thank you so much. Also, Miss Stewie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. You coming out this evening also as well. Let's see here, who else I have here. Tara, thanks so much for being here as well. Again, PM channel, thank you again for being here. Meb, thank you so much for being here. And let's see who else I got. Robin, thank you so much for being here. And Don. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So I want to go straight to what I really wanted to get here. Like I said, again, you guys, and there's a couple of things that I have. I want to make sure that we are pointing out. And I do this a couple of times, you guys, and I hope you guys don't mind. But I have to go through this because it's two things that's happening. It's the melon protest that has to happen every week. You guys have been helping, and as well as the Candlelight Vigil. All right. No justice, no peace. You guys, let me add this to the screen here. No justice, no peace. We demand action. And that's something from us. And I say us, we are an extended family, and that is including you guys. No justice, no peace means that there can be no peace without justice. My son, Daniel, has been missing for nearly 2 years. It's time for justice in his case. My experience searching for my son, I put on an investigator's hat, put on my search hat, and I have been advocating not only for my son, but for many others, because Daniel is just America's son, you guys. And that means that my family, and what happens to my son is exactly what happens to families every day in this country. It's sad, you guys, thousands of people go missing a day. I feel that law enforcement has failed Daniel and my family and me. You know what I'm saying? You guys, the injustice create anger, frustration, and a sense of powerlessness. It can lead to such social unrest and protest. Let's work together for this justice for Daniel, you guys. Because law enforcement was slow to act initially, Daniel remains missing. Again, you guys, the recording tonight will reflect some of that slow action. And I'm tired. When you hear my voice on this recording, you see how tired I was for pretty much pleading these officers to go out and go out in the desert and search for my son. Because law enforcement refuses to take physical action of foul play. I gave them Daniel's justice has been hampered. Two things can't be true, you guys. You cannot have a time of a vehicle going into the first initial crash, the evidence of a multiple crash, the evidence of a eyewitness who found the vehicle in the first place, saying the vehicle wasn't there. The eyewitness also from law enforcement, the Buckeye Police Department, as well as some of the Maricopa County and also Silver Air Patrol, who also are witnesses to the vehicle not being there because they searched the area where the vehicle eventually will be placed at. So all these things can be true, and then the Mal saying it was there at 10 o'clock, where the phone was there in that crash site at 10 something in the morning. Something I'm definitely going to look into, guys. But all these things can't be true at one time. So again, because law enforcement refuses to take physical evidence, and you guys gonna find out why this is still true. Physical evidence of foul play I gave them, Daniel's justice have been hampered. So those things are something that also been looked into. I have a solution to this problem. I'm demanding that the Buckeye Police Department release my son's case into outside agency that will bring results. Since my son went missing, the Buckeye Police Department has not found anything to bring us close. They just found us something, you guys, they put in this new report that raises more questions, you guys. Like I said, all those things can't be true simultaneously, right? Then at the end of the day, where's my son? They have found nothing. They found all the things that they were trying to throw, in my opinion, throw away from the case. Oh, he might have some little depression going on. Oh, he, or oh, the vehicle must have been there for 30. You know what I'm saying? Where's my son? You guys, that's what we're looking for. We don't look for the drama. I'm not looking for what Mr. McGrath thinks about me, or what this person said, and I mean, I'm not here to read a novel from the police department, you guys. I'm here to find out what happened to my son. Since my son went missing, the Buckeye Police Department has not found anything to bring us closer to answers. They do not have available cell phone pings. You hear about IQ apps, you don't hear the word pings, you guys, because they'll be also falsifying. Or traffic cameras. And and it takes a warrant. They're claiming to get cell phone pings, and they're refusing to make my son case possible criminal case with the evidence of foul play, you guys. Also, no, they do have locations that come from the Uconnect. They talk about this app, but they somehow magically claim that this Uconnect gave off zero grids. There's no camera footages, though. You guys, if you go around Arizona and get a speeding ticket in the mail because of cameras that capture you running that light, or if you robbed a bank and they got these cameras track you back to your own residence and things like that. So I don't believe that. Everything that can help in finding Daniel seems to be conveniently blocked by the Buckeye Police Department. Now they are blocking other agencies that may be able to help. I've been asking for the FBI, you guys, early on. Sent a striking letter to Chief Hall, you guys, explaining how my son was missing in the crime scene. We found human remains out there, skull near where the vehicle was located as well. We found that crimes that happened. We found my searches also. We solved a case for the Maricopa County, looking for a missing vehicle that we was able to locate, and hopefully it got back to the rightful owners. For instance, so there's a lot of crimes been happening in the area. My son was missing in the crime scene, and also with the human remains around, and also the crime scene of a stage event. Um, I wanted the FBI, and it was on or in very close proximity to federal lands, BLM lands. I was asking for the FBI to come in. You guys know what happened with that. My attorney immediately asked that we be a part of that meeting, or I'd just be a part, and they ignored that, the response back, and had a secret meeting telling me that the FBI felt that I was doing such a great job on my own that they needed to come in. Very hard for me and my family to take. Took me a lot of work. I had to go to the Justice Department, have meetings, a lunch with Justice Department members, as well as some other folks, just to finally get some movement that we got going. There's a lot of things in the background I'll be sharing with you guys too, as well. My efforts into for my son, and my team as well. They was by my side. You guys know them as the A team, by my side when we were going to various meetings with officials to get things in the background rolling. But the thing is, you guys, what I'm saying is that the FBI was refused in this case. I don't know what the Buckeye Department, in my opinion, lied to them about, but they would not jump in on the case at the time. It's since been a shift change, in a sense, what I like to call it, with the FBI, the field office in Phoenix. They had a new higher up. Thank God for that. And all of a sudden, now I'm hearing that the FBI supposedly be looking at the Daniel case, which I don't really believe, for the Buckeye Police Department. And the reason why, you guys, because I think it'll be a courtesy for the FBI to reach out to me if they were indeed looking into my son's case. Reach out to me directly, because I'm the father who's been working hard, vigorously, for almost 2 years out in the desert. It would be an insult to me, as a father, for the FBI to be mingling around in the case and they not have said anything to me at all. So I don't believe, they said it one time before, the Buckeye Police Department. I don't believe them the second time. So you guys, and the first time you guys it was a lie, and this time I really wouldn't really bank on the FBI is actually really in this case. Everything that can help find Daniel seems to be conveniently blocked by the Buckeye Police Department. Now they are blocking other agencies that can be able to help. We will fight to change this outcome. What we can do, we can peacefully protest in two forms, you guys. I created a mail-in protest to target departments' attention to get their attention. Next, we will protest at their departments. I need you to join us and invite families and friends. This is a grassroots effort. There is power in the people. I'm telling you something, guys. If you can imagine that if everybody was to stop because of what law enforcement may write in a report, and they say, hey, that's all we can do. We did blah 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 blah, and they say they throw in the towel, say, well, ain't nothing else we can do, right? I mean, it's no end of story, you guys. People don't just disappear. No, they can get answers if they want to. So that to me, it's impossible for law enforcement to say this is it and that's all I can do. No, it's more that you can do, you guys. There's so much more that I'm doing. So if I know I'm doing, I got answers. For instance, got some stuff I was checking into a few days ago. I'm looking at law in my head. I'm looking at where are they? Where are they? What they looking for? What they're finding? What you're really doing? Because if you're really doing what I'm thinking, you'll have some of those same answers I'm getting right now, right? And so there's always answers out there. It's just that I'm telling families, if you really listen to me, uh, don't ever allow anybody to tell you that is it, you guys, because I'm telling you, as soon as you quit, they quit. As soon as people in the community who you're engaging, as soon as they lose interest, fall off, then law enforcement lose interest and fall off. You guys, I'm telling you guys, that's why I need you guys desperately to continue the efforts that I'm asking you guys. Is a method to the madness. I keep saying it over and over again. When I ask you guys, can you please send in them letters, regardless of what you hear or what you whatever to send those letters in. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Send those letters in every week. I don't care if it's ridiculous. I know you did it before. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. Make it easier for yourself. Like that's why I try to say sometimes, you guys, if it's possible, if you want to send in bulk mail, because that's what I'm trying to get in these departments. You don't necessarily have to put a return address if you don't like. And the reason why I said I'm trying to find ways to make it easy for somebody to say, hey, I can print this out, put a stamp on it, put an envelope, put their address on it, and just send it, right? Because you don't know if you want a whole bunch of mail coming back to you or not. But if you don't mind that, that's fine too. But that's writing an extra address or something. I'm just trying to find ways to make it easier. And because I'm very thoughtful when it comes to me asking people for things. I'm a father, and I'm trying to find my son, and I need your help. And that's the reason why I'm asking you guys, if you can, please just encourage others to do the same. Write these letters. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go on there and see that mail-in protest. That mail-in protest, you see it under the Unity Candlelight Visual information and how you can mail those off. You can print those PDFs off, and if you guys can, please put a stamp on the envelope and send us off to those addresses. Just keep sending. Just keep sending. Whenever you have free time, you have free money. In a sense, I hate to say it that way because I know it costs for a stamp. I know it costs for envelopes. I know it costs even for your time. Um, but I'm asking you guys if you can, if that's one way you want to donate, for instance, that'll be a good way to donate is to get a book of stamps, some envelopes, and a print paper or whatever, and print those things out and send them to these addresses because I really need a bunch of them going in at one time because I'm doing things in the background. I'm gearing up for what's going to happen after the 23rd. After we get past this 2-year mark, I have things I'm planning, to get the ball rolling, you guys, because I'm not going 3 years without Maricopa County taking possession of the vehicle and get those airbags tested, get those airbags, those clothing to tell me who's been wearing those. All the airbags, when I say all the airbags, if somebody was in the passenger seat holding my son up, you don't know. I need those things taken care of. You guys, red transfer pay, we need to know where that's come from. Etc. I just keep going on and on. But guys, I had to convince the Buckeye, I had to convince the Tempe Police Department to do forensics on all of Daniel's electronics. It wasn't the Buckeye Police Department, guys. So Don't read that report and get confused. It was not the Buckeye. They did not engage Tempe at all, period. I engaged Tempe with my team. We sat down with Mayor Woods of Tempe, Tempe Mayor Woods, along with at the time Chief Glover. He's now with DPS, and also Chief Anderson. And we talked to them and convinced them to do the forensics on Daniel's electronics. I did. I'll be honest with it. I didn't. I don't trust, and I openly can tell you guys I do not trust the Buckeye Police Department. And of course, I asked them if they could not share whatever they could find, because they said they were doing it for me as a favor. Now I'm going to put that up front. The Tempe Police Department said, "Well, we do this forensic as a favor to you, as a favor." So okay, good. It's a favor. Thank you for doing this, because I needed this all of it done. Because you guys know what I've been asking for. You guys helped me get forensic money up to do the forensics on these items, and I had to start off with the cell phone, one item at a time. No, they was able to do all of it at one time, so I was really grateful. But then later, also was telling me they had to share, because Buckeye had an open case, share the information with Buckeye too as well, whatever they get. So that's fine. But I just wanted to make sure you guys know that it wasn't no attempt from the Buckeye Police Department to get with Tempe, and they convinced that they working through Tempe to get the forensics done, or they pretty much order it in a sense. No, just like they didn't order the first forensic. I have another recording you guys will hear later on that I have of me talking to the detective of Buckeye Police Department, who was explaining to you guys why he felt there was no reason to even do forensics on the scene out there, you guys. I'm gonna release that to you guys too on the next time we are doing this Q&A, this live. You guys will hear those recordings where law enforcement, all of them, you hear where law enforcement asking us to break in Daniel's apartment, saying just don't get caught, things like that, you guys. So it is so much I can share with you guys, and I'm really getting to that point where I'm actually being able to do that. But the thing is, you guys, this department need to release Daniel's things and move it over to the Maricopa County. So this is very important. It's very vital, you guys. If you continue to help, a lot of people ask me all the time, saying, "Mr. Rouse, I want to help, but I live in some other state or whatever." And this is a way that everybody can participate. The mail-in protest, everybody can participate on this, no matter where you live. I just had someone who said it was in, I think it was that in uh, uh, I think it was Australia, one of the other countries just now, in the chats. Even you can participate. And so everybody can participate in that. Just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go into the mail-in protest, and and send those letters in. You guys, those pre letters, and also the picket signs. You guys print those picket signs out. You don't even have to send the letters off. Just throw them picket signs in those envelopes and send them to them all the time. Just send it to them all the time. Remind them. Remind them we're looking for justice for Daniel. Remind them we want Daniel's case moved on to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Just constantly doing that. That's what we need, and that's what I need, you guys. If you guys can help me with that, that would make a big difference. Thank you guys for allowing me to share that with you guys. And my efforts is to get justice for Daniel, for my son. And I really appreciate you guys for those who are listening in on that. So again, it's important, guys. It's important. I don't know how much I can really stress that over and over again, but it's very important piece for this. Again, the picket signs, guys, it looks just like this. So you got a couple of them. For instance, one, no justice, no peace. You put that in the envelope and send it off. So I'll just give you an example of what they look like. It's a few on me, guys. If you go on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, it's many more on there. You'll see them on there. You can send them off. But they like picket sign. Those same things when I have the actual protest. This is exactly what they're gonna look like. These are gonna be the signs that we'll be holding up. Those picket signs we're holding up in front of the Buckeye Police Departments, for instance. This is the signs that we're gonna have there. So again, you guys, and we're gonna do it on a weekday, you guys. I said it before. The protest is gonna be on a weekday. Buckeyes like Mayberry, they close on the weekend, and that would be no nothing done if we do it on a weekend, because they're closed. So we're gonna make sure we're doing it on a weekday. So that I'm really organizing that to try to do it like on a Friday, close to the weekend, because a lot of people work. But at the same time, I also thought about maybe doing something like a protest holiday week or whatever, where it's for several days and not just for for this one particular day, because everybody have days, different days off, and everybody want to participate, and so I really want to get something rolling, because in the valley out there in Arizona, this case has been going on for almost 2 years, and I'm sure the appetite there is for people to say, hey, we need some resolution to this case for Daniel, and I need it, my family need it, and so I'm really relying, like I say again, you guys are relying on you guys, if you can be a part of this and help. Also, you guys, the other part is the Candlelight Visual, the Unity Candlelight Visual. This another very important. This is a different poster board. You guys have a little more information on the other one that you'll see online. But the Unity Candlelight Visual, guys, is for geologist Daniel C, Robinson, my son. We're bringing families together, meaning that it may sound like, oh, we're bringing families of the missing together. Yes, but we're bringing you guys together, and this was this Candlelight Visual we would do. It will bring you guys together to the family, like my family of the missing, and bring you guys, bringing families together to help us share our loved one's story, help us get our story out there. So this whole effort that I've been doing for my son has been reliant on information being put out into the public. The first thing I did was started the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. The second thing I did is started the searchfordaniel.org along with another gentleman, and they function in two different things. One's for the search, of course, searchfordaniel.org, and then the other one, Please Help Find Daniel, was the first initial website. You guys, and this website right here, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, I knew from the day one, you guys, you had to always get the information out there really quick if you want to get answers. So the first thing I did is created the website, post just through Daniel's picture, much pictures I can on there, put the information about what happened, and then I went to social media to direct people there to read, right, and also share things on social media. So those things are very important of getting the gear rolling. So if you're a family right now that have a missing loved one and hearing this, please do that. That is one of the things you need to do. Bring some humanity to your loved one. Get the pictures and throw them up there on your website that you create, you guys, and also your social media. I started social media page. Please help find Daniel, and I was begging the community. That's where Please Help Find Daniel come from. Begging the players, I said, you guys, please help me find Daniel. Please help find Daniel. And I started social media the same way. Everything, please help find Daniel. Of course, you guys know Twitter is a little different, but please help find Daniel. Please help find Daniel is something that is reflecting to how I feel, how my family feel. Please help us find my son. And that's exactly what's been going on from day one. So again, Unity Candlelight Visual will be happening on the 23rd, you guys. All I'm asking you guys to do is, if you can, light a candle at sunset, no matter where you're at. If you're in another country, or anywhere in the state, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Central, Mountain Time, you guys light a candle at sunset. And what I will be doing as well to add to that is I will have two lives, almost like I'm doing tonight. One would be at 8 o'clock on the West Coast time, and that's out there in Arizona. For instance, Mountain Time, Pacific Time, 8 o'clock p.m. I'll be doing a live. Hopefully, I have been talking to Mr. Petito. He will be one of the guests on one of the lives, as well as I'm reaching out to other families to have them on, of course. And then the second one, the live will be at 8. Well, both of them gonna be almost like a first, but it's gonna be for 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, you guys. And that's for people who live out, for instance, in my state, South Carolina, and on the East Coast. Kind of give everybody the opportunity to see the lives and share your pictures. And if you want to come on and have a word to say, I want many people to be able to come on, especially families of the missing, to be able to come on this live, for instance, and share your stories and tell us about your stories, because we bring in you guys, the families, together to be able to listen to our stories and to share our stories as far as you guys can. Just like you guys have been sharing Daniel's story on your platform, you'll be sharing other families' stories as well. So the families will be here. I'm gonna take that in faith. I have the families for you guys to be able to share their stories. Those families will benefit from that. I'm telling you guys, it's very beneficial for families to have those stories put out there. So you guys can continue to do that for families of the missing. That's very important to actually finding their loved ones. Okay. Also, I have. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anybody have any questions. If you have any questions, again, you guys, I'm gonna look at the comment section, capital letter Q, question mark, or the word question for your question, and I can actually find it as I'm coming down. 'Cause I'm coming down kind of quickly. Try to see if I can find some different names here. Thank you so much for joining in. Stories of LJ. Let's see who else I have. I think I've said hello to you again. Thanks so much, Karen Lee, again. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's where I was at last. And let's see. South Korea. That's right. We had the person for South Korea. That's what I wanted to say. Even if you're in South Korea, I can't red lips. Even if you're in South Korea, you can participate in the Unity Candlelight Vigil. You still can do that, and wherever the sunset, you guys light the candle in remembrance of my son, geologist Daniel C. Robinson, as well as remembering all the other missing people in this country, thousands that go missing every day, and thousands upon thousands that have never been found to this date. Those families who have to deal with that kind of pain, it don't just go away, you guys. It don't just go away. Also, let's see, Miss Stevie, thanks so much for your question. I can't find the search maps that were online. Did you delete them? No, I did not. I would make sure I check on that, because if it's some kind of way it went down, it probably would be. I can't say. Let me look at it real quick if I can while I'm talking to you. But um, I can say that that map had been provided. Hold on a second. Okay. I can't type and talk at the same time, right? But that map had been provided when I was first starting off my search and talking, having meetings with Matrix New World, also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. That map was originally their map, right? So it's originally their map, and they have. Oh yeah, they must have took it down. Finally, they took it down. So I do see that. I will fix that. So that's what that is, Miss Stevie. That map has been removed. I would contact them to see if they plan to put it back up or not. But what it is connected with Matrix New World, who created that map, and was I was able to be able to utilize that through them at the time. And so that's probably what happened. They probably decided to just get rid of that part of it altogether that caused that whole map to go down. So I will check into that. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. I did not realize that until you mentioned it. So again, if those who looking for that set the map, that is what's going on right now. Thank you, Ms. Stevens. So you see, these questions do really help. You guys see anything going on? I may not be aware of. That helps. So thanks so much, Miss Stevie, for that question, because that definitely what that is. All right. So question here from Lee. Uh, um, does the computer from the Jeep have a time date record of the first crash before it drove 11 miles to where it was found? Well, the only thing it don't have the location. Of course, it do have the date and time, which is on the 23rd, roughly around 1 o'clock, according to my investigator. It's like 12, something close to 1. That the first accident happened with that Jeep, right? And so then 11 additional miles, yeah, of course, have been after that point. So, of course, that's Buckeyes fighting hard to say because of the discrepancies and this and that, blah, 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 which, I'm not going to be the one to argue that point, but I can go by what my investigator found. So, of course, that's what I paid him to do. And that's how he was able to find those answers to what happened in the situation. So, but that's definitely what we have at right now is the one around 1 o'clock that day on the 23rd. But that not a location. I wish there was a location, but that's some other information that will come out about location as well. So um, of where that possibly things could possibly have happened. Thank you for Trace for this justice for Daniel hashtag. You guys, if you guys can share that on your social media platforms, get the algorithms going. T and Wildflower, thank you so much for moderating, first of all, and also hashtag justice for Daniel as well. I do have proving spooky. I send them throughout several days. Okay, thank you so much. Just in case people have that day off, thank you for everything you guys are doing. I really truly appreciate it. Thank you, T and Wildflower, putting information out about the Unity Candlelight Visual. Um, Little Miss Sunshine, thanks so much for being here this evening off the YouTube side. God bless you too. Also, Trailer Park Farm. Thank you so much for the hashtag. Thank you for your prayers. We definitely need the prayers of family. We're getting close to that date, you guys. Some would call it a anniversary date. I do not call it anniversary. Every day is a reminder for us of Daniel being missing, and it's very hard to even digest that. That thought. Many times I sit here and I just it dawned on me. Hey, I haven't heard from my son almost 2 years. Haven't heard his voice in my ear on the phone or whatever the case may be. Haven't seen his face. Haven't seen him move certain little faces Daniel do with his face. Haven't seen those things, the way he move his head, for instance, or his body movements. Those things I miss, you guys. I'm telling you, when your loved ones, hold them close, close as you can. Any arguments or disagreements, try to resolve them quick as possible. Somebody had to give in sometimes. Sometimes when you don't want to, you just have to do it because you know what? It can come a time where you can never say I'm sorry, right? And or and you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be missing your loved ones, and there's so much that goes along with that. So that thought and be here for almost 2 years searching because as soon as I never thought in a million years, it didn't even come across my mind about missing people until Daniel went missing. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't hear about missing people. And that's not something that came to my mind. I was thinking that, man, there's a lot of people go missing in this country. I guess I missed that somehow. And when it happened to Daniel, um, yeah, I found going out in that search. I hear families all the time just sharing these stories. I'm like, wow. And then it make you start looking on social media or looking online and Googling things. And like, man, thousands of people a day go missing. And you just don't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? So, things can happen. Life turns on a dime, you guys, and it happen quickly. T and Wildflower, thanks so much. If you have a question, guys, put the capital letter Q or write the word question or put a question mark before your question so it can be easily identified. And thanks so much for clearing that up for me because that's exactly you guys. If you guys can, I truly appreciate if you have those questions. Also, unquestionably criminal. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the hashtag. And I do have a question from Esther. Thank you, Esther, for your question, and thank you so much for your constant support. Have you been able to view any footage from the Shell gas station? Only thing I have gotten from the Buckeye Police Department, they early on they changed so much stuff. They say they had these video footage, and then they end up giving you these pictures like they did at the Waffle House. So I was on here on Q&A talking about I put in, of course, what I did ask him, Detective Biffin, and they haven't given it to me, and it was like 6 months past or something. I was happened to be talking about on that Q&A that night, and then around midnight I got it. They sent it to me, so they was actually listening to the Q&A at the time. But yeah, I did get a footage, but the footage was still pictures, and those pictures raises questions about who's what I'm saying is, guys, if they really quick to throw off that the vehicle that was on or near the first well site that the gentleman took pictures of, his wife took pictures of. It was a blurry picture. They was quick to dismiss that and say the rims was white. Gwen, first of all, you guys, when have you ever seen white rims on a SUV? Ever, never, ever, never. There's no such thing. No manufacturer I know put white rims on SUV. It's a picture. It's a picture blurry, and they would really jump to say that is not the vehicle, right? Because of white rims. I'm like, no, rims is not white. I ain't never seen no white rims. I've seen unless it's some custom vehicle, somebody want a white rims, but generally speaking, no. And then the other part is it didn't look white to me. I guess that is in the eye of the beholder, however you want to see it. But there's also this gas station footage was the same way, very blurry, very blurry. But I can't say the vehicle was facing. I thought it was facing the wrong side of where the tank was, but later on I had to correct myself, and the tank was on the passenger side when I checked that vehicle out. But nevertheless, it was on the passenger side facing. You can't tell no license plate, nothing. Very blurry picture. Can't even tell if it's really the vehicle or not. But I'm not denying that it's not the vehicle or anything else outside of there's nothing to prove and say it was that vehicle as well. So I got to look at the timestamp, for instance, that matched the match something with the bank stamp. You can't really match that either because they don't have a time when this purchase has been made or settled unless you had a receipt, and we don't have that. So that type stuff. So you guys, it's really hard to say about that. But yes, there was some footage is supposed to be. They say they had video, and then when I asked them, say, well, give me a copy of the video, they gave me a copy of still pictures. Say they only got pictures. I'm like, that don't sound right. Just like to say about the Waffle House. But that's all I have, Esther. Also, I have a question from Unquestionably Criminal. What can we do to help in the search for Daniel? Yes, this mail-in protest is one of the biggest things right now. The phone calls, you guys, those share Daniel's story. That's what can happen currently. That's the things we have currently. Listen out for the physical protest if you can help in that way and that endeavor as well. If you happen to be in a position to be able to travel or be in Arizona to participate. Also, listen up for upcoming search. I did talk to Howard Hughes Corporation, who's able to again extend their welcome to another search out there, you guys in that area to go through their property in a sense just to get in these areas that I want to search. And there's one, people said, well, what else it is to search out there? If you guys have been to the searches, you understand that it's some areas that even in our best efforts, we have to miss something. We have something we did last time, guys. We just need to complete that little section, and as well as another section that would kind of help me rule out that Daniel's out there in that desert. It kind of, when I say kind of, we did everything we can, and most likely he's not. Because there's a small chance that something may have been missed, or we just didn't get this area, the spot, and that always bothers my mind. But the general area where this whole drama, the story took place or whatever, we can comfortably say Daniel's not there. That's what I'm pushing for to rule that out. So, but also there would be a specialized search, unquestionably criminal, a specialized search. I did it before. I have an area that I need to go look into again. You guys, and that really is something that goes along my investigation. I don't know what the police department is doing, but my investigation is so much more to the story of Daniel. Sometimes things lead to other things as well, but it's definitely more to the story, to what happened to my son, or just the what's the word I want to use, the motive to what could have happened and reasons why. So again, thank you so much for the question, unquestionably criminal. Also, thank you, the Red Stiletto. Thanks so much for your comment. I pray the Lord points you in the right direction that will lead you to Daniel. I really appreciate that, and I do too as well. I'm always praying, and I know God will, put us in put me and my family in the right direction. Diane, thanks so much for being here. I'll never give up. You're right. Thanks so much for your prayers. Also, Michelle, thanks for your question. She have a question here. I also have a question coming up from Jane. You guys, Daniel was seen at the Waffle House the day before he went missing, and he was wearing a blue polo shirt. Do you have this shirt in your possession? No, I do not. I don't know if I do or not. I say it like that. The reason why I say I don't know if I do or not, because Daniel have a lot of things in storage. Maybe he took it off and threw it in a dirty clothes hamper or something. We got it, or he washed it. I don't know. But when we packed up his place, it possibly can be in his clothing items. I'm not sure, So I didn't inventory that at all. I don't think his siblings did when they went and helped pack the last little bits of those things up. I don't know. I don't know if it's in our possession or not, but I can say the clothing that was out on that ground out there. Nobody identified as family member. So how Buckeye knows Daniel's clothing without testing it, I don't know. Well, it's his clothing in a pile of that's their story. So there's nothing to say that was true. That's just them with their mouth, their opinions. Also, Jane Doe, thanks so much for your question. Someone asked in another channel, did Daniel have a prosthetic? He when he was a kid, but as an adult, no. Daniel, when I say a kid, he was a really small kid then. He also had one for high school that he rarely ever used. But Daniel, no, he prefers not to have those. He like to be who he is as a person. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's very restrictive to him and the way he expresses himself with that. So, of course, he probably most likely wouldn't have one now. So, but then before he went missing, the things, no, I haven't seen Daniel wear prosthesis for years. In his college years, all the way up until him going missing. Let's see here. Any more questions, you guys? I will share this audio real quick with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and see something here. Thank you, T and Wildflower, putting this up. In the meantime, yeah, I do have this audio I will share with you guys. And what I want to explain to you, first of all, you guys, this is a recording of myself um, talking on the phone when I had to call the Buckeye Police Department to after I was tired, you guys. I was tired. Here it is over 48 hours. Um, I was tired of, I got started traveling and tired and um, trying to call back and forth and asking them, Officer Cruz as well as Officer Haley, did they get anybody to authorize the search? Because they canceled it. Hey, I know nobody can do it by blah. I told y'all guys that the next day, Officer Haley told me that um, it was unauthorized. The officer told me that it was unauthorized, the morning officer. And so the thing is, there wasn't a search done. There wasn't a search put out there for Daniel. Helicopter search that was. Nobody went out in the desert looking like they say they did and all the stuff because I literally was on the phone with them. The thing with law enforcement with Buckeye at the time is that he's a grown man. They felt if he want to disappear on his own, he can, and they approach it that way. They put him on the NIC, as I may say that thing wrong, but you guys know I'm talking about the national data base thing. They claim it, and to be honest with you, it don't go along with the uh, information we have online. You guys, if you look at the date when they actually put them in and those things, and you be like, that's questionable. But we'll go back to that some other time. But according to the recording, he claimed that he was on this database, right? But that was the biggest. I'm explaining this, guys, before y'all listen to it. That was the biggest thing that the way I took it, they was into. He's grown man, and they made me feel that way. Okay, they ain't gonna do nothing. He's a grown man, and all thing we could do is put him in a system. And if he's riding his vehicle and he gets stopped, we pull him over. No matter where in this country, they'll say, "Hey, your family looking for you," and that's it. They didn't listen to or holding heart um, me begging and pleading them the whole entire night. Officer Cruz, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought Officer Cruz was wonderful at the time because I still was not saying nothing bad because I thought of him actually going to look out there for Daniel in a sense, right? Until I found out it wasn't in the desert, it was on Sun Valley Parkway, him and the other officer, up and down Sun Valley. He said in the area. In the area, when y'all see that in the report, the area is Sun Valley Parkway, not the desert itself. He told me on the call that they could not go in the desert. It's nighttime, and they would put a helicopter up. It's nighttime. So what about the morning? That's where the morning stuff came from. Then the next day came, they did not do it. And I've been calling off and on trying to convince them to go out there and do something. They would not do it, you guys. They would not do it so long that the officer Cruz was gone. Also Haley was gone. He left at, you gonna hear this officer say he left at 3 o'clock that evening. This was late in the evening when I was talking to this officer, probably around 6, 7 o'clock at night. And those officers were gone. This time of the year, you guys, this time of the year, the officers were gone, right? He looked into the notes. He seen nothing about a helicopter flight plan or anything. So this is stuff that they write in their report, but it's contradicting what was said. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, which I don't like, and that's the problem. They could draw this narrative as they did all this work, and how they come up with all this the stuff they claim. I don't know, but it's against what this guy said, for instance, and so so when y'all listen to this, a couple of things. I sound weird because I was in pain. I was tired, so you might could hear that in my voice. The other part is I had to part of that audio going to have a block out, and the block out is because they have my personal information, my phone, and that's another thing, you guys. This guy don't even they didn't have my number. Here I am, the father who contacted and put in a missing person report. They don't have my phone number. He said he didn't have an assistant. He had to put it in the media. That's why you can hear that little block out. If I could play that for you guys one day, whenever, this is my form of redacting it, because it has my phone number, my personal phone number, my home address in South Carolina, and I had to block that part out. So that's why you guys would not be hearing that. And then also the crazy part about it, even sticker to that, they're just now getting Daniel's home address and putting it in the system. So if he had asked me for Daniel's home address to get it in that system, how he was able to put in this report he claimed, and they say they put a report that say they're looking at on the system. I don't know. All this kind of confusing to me. But this happened on this recording happened over 48 hours later after I reported Daniel missing. Right. So nothing don't make sense with the Buckeye Police Department. It don't add up to what the report says to what actually happened. So y'all gonna constantly, especially after the 23rd, hear a series of things like that, right? So again, here we go, and I will let me see, put that in. But real quick, I want to check something out real quick. But yeah, okay, I'll put that in, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys. I really thank you guys for really having a time paying attention to this and taking the time just to listen. But I do want to share that with you guys, because you know what, there's a lot being put out with Buckeye that I don't like, and it don't add up to things that have been happening in reality. They try to paint this bleak picture about me as a father who's been out there. I call it it's almost like a war. They're having a war with me, a victim, Arizona victim. They're out to they put things in fillers in the report. I call them fillers, things that have nothing to do with my son missing, but things to try to hurt me and tarnish me as a father. Opinions about Mr. McGrath. Oh, Mr. McGrath said, I don't see why Mr. Robinson need to ask people to help him live in Arizona. I mean, maybe he got $1 million in the bank or something like that, or whatever the case may be. I have a home. I have a young person. I have a family. Make a long story to take care of, a young child. I have a life. And of course, all of us need a helping hand at times. So sometimes, you see things like that. I know it's a personal attack on me from the Buckeye Police Department. That's personal attack. And I don't even know if that's true. Mr. McGrath said all of that stuff that you guys see on that report. But if he did, that's also terrible to hear that he was having those kind of discussions with law enforcement, that kind of stuff. But the thing is, in putting his opinions like that. So the whole point is, you guys, what I'm saying is, all that was put in a report. Think about that, guys. All this crazy stuff that put in report that has nothing to do with my son being missing. Oh, he had a search results. He's a missing person. Y'all can't prove it was foul play or not. Who said he was the one that searched that stuff? You get what I'm saying? So the whole point is, you guys, it is throwing a narrow so they can give red meat to the public, to the news media, to run out and say, hey, look at what Buckeye found. And look at this. And they long line these officers or something. Long line, it's the same thing. They long line to make it bigger, make the report a little bigger, and say, man, they did a lot of stuff. But I'm telling you guys, I can't wait till the 23rd so I can break it down to you and you can see what's really going on with that report. Right. So, and then they'll go along with the audio and stuff like that that contradicts everything they be saying on that report. That's what I'm saying. They put the stuff out there and they pull it off the report, offline, you guys, because they falsifies the thing, in my opinion. Because I don't know what that really means, but if you could change a whole paragraph. I heard about Mr. Farming told me they can do supplementary reports, but you don't delete, you don't change the whole paragraph. You add things to the report. You don't change the report. You get what I'm saying? That's falsifying stuff. And that's what's been going on. If you take the original report, the partial report, the original report, the final report they told me at the time, then the new report they sent out to the public that highlighted, that reporter told me how they highlighted the young lady's story, that hearsay story. Because to this date, you guys don't see Daniel's text messages put in that report. You notice that, right? They say, "Oh, we got deleted text message." Show it, show it in your report, because it's not there. They're lying because it's not in it, and not on the phone records and all that. All the stuff they claim it don't add up. You look at her stuff and that don't add up because they know that. And then so they keep adding these things in, guys, adding these things in. I'm saying just gotta look at just to fill that report up and say we did this, that, blah, 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 blah. This made sense. It's a defend me. They on the defend me mode. Defend myself, not look for Daniel. Defend myself mode. And I get it. I did a lot of phone calls. I mean, anybody can do phone calls and talk to people on the phone. Oh, I talked to this worker. I talked to this person. I talked to a lot of people too, you guys. If I put everybody I talked to about my son case, I'm sure it'll be a lot longer list of people I talked to. I mean, so what? You talk to a lot of people. Okay, congratulations. You talked to a lot of people. Now what? Find my son. You guys tell me, give me something that will act upon those things that my investigator found on the scene. I should not be holding for almost 2 years, holding evidence, housing it, paying money out of my pocket to try to pay every month, trying to house these things, housing forensics and stuff like that. That law enforcement should be holding. They should have it in an evidence locker somewhere. You know, so that kind of stuff, you guys. But anyway, going back to this is what I'm recording. I have you guys is also, like I said, over 48 hours after Daniel went missing. That's the stage I'm telling you guys what it is. And it's been over 48 hours, right? Over 2 days. Daniel went missing. You're gonna hear from Buckeye Police Department's officer from their own mouth. There are none active search of Daniel, right? So that contradict what they saying on this. Oh, they put, oh, it was out there in the desert on day one. We was out there on the desert. This officer don't see nothing of that on his report. So here you go, guys. I will play that, and then after that, we'll talk about it. I'll take some of your questions in the comments.
Department, Arizona.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Unfortunately, I have no updates of news for you. He's been entered as missing still. And there's no news findings since. Was there yesterday?
Yes.
No. Do you have any other new information, or?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Has anybody been trying to get hold of him?
Yes, we've been still trying to get in touch with him.
By phone?
Yes, and it's going straight voicemail, so.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have anything new. I wish I had something to tell you, but like I said, he's been entered in the system. But if any officer makes contact with him, then he'd be alerted. So.
Okay, what's y'all planning? What's the way they're doing it? I see I'm looking for him, or?
Not actively. Except they put a missing person out on him, and I believe there's a vehicle already. Is there a Renegade or something like that?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if anyone stops him or the vehicle, then they'll be alerted that he's reported missing, and then they'll contact Buckeye or agency here and let us know they found him, and we can go from there. But until somebody makes contact with him, that's pretty much where we're standing now.
So there's no, I talked to one of your officers, Haley today. He said something they was going to try to look out, try to put a second request for air support, I guess, in a sense. Trying to look for him out in the desert somewhere. So y'all just missed that now, or?
I didn't know of any of that. He went home at about 3:30 this afternoon. I didn't hear him mention anything about. What time did you call it in? Did you call in at 10 today?
Yeah, I've been talking since his missing. I talked to Officer Cruz and then also to Officer Haley.
Okay. Unfortunately, neither one of them are here. Cruz went home earlier, and so did Haley. So, I mean, I don't see anything in the notes I just read the report from yesterday because it was on. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to go off of.
Okay.
Where was the last scene? Over in the new construction area? Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And you're the contractor?
Yeah, well, he works with, I forgot the name of the company there, but, yeah, he's, pretty much that way, yes.
All right, sure. They said, I think, let me see if we have the information down below. 1 second. Actually, I don't see a phone number. Can I put a phone number on file for you in case we do have further information?
Yeah, he did it before, but it's,
So his information is all in there, and he is actively reported as missing. And then make sure I got the vehicle. Okay, I got a 2017 Jeep Renegade.
that's correct.
And it is.
It's like a sky blue or something like similar to that.
Like a light blue?
Right, like a grayish light blue or something.
Okay, yeah, they just create here, light blue. Okay. And then, okay, here we go, license and everything. So everything's up to date. Like I said, we're just waiting for someone to contact them.
I just need some, advisement. Is there where I can, talk to your local news out there and see if they can put something on, some people can look for, like, people out in the street somewhere?
Definitely, I know our, public information officer. I know once a person's missing for, a given amount of time, I'm not sure what the time frame is. They do put stuff out on social media.
Okay.
I do not know the time frame on it. It has been, 24 hours or more?
It's more than 24 hours, almost, yeah, almost 48.
Let me, once I get done talking, I'll call my sergeant, see about, what the standards are to put a social media posting out for that.
Okay, and also, what's your name again? I'm sorry, I was writing all this stuff.
It's Officer Birchfield, Birchfield.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
And then if you wanted to contact the local media, you can do so.
Okay.
On your behalf, if you'd like. But,
all right, that'll be on some kind of database I can draw from.
for him being a missing person?
Yes.
It's a national database. I'm not sure that.
Okay. I'll try to see how I can look that up. I'm curious.
We refer to it as NCIC, which is a national missing person database.
Okay.
So if anybody contacts them within the United States, then you contact report a missing. So.
Yes, sir.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Okay, everybody. That is one of the recordings I will be releasing several in series of different recordings from the Buckeye Police of me talking with the Buckeye Police Department, and and what I wanted to point out again in this recording is that first of all, they didn't even know my name. I reported he didn't see that in the system. He had to get my information. He had to get Daniel's address as well. It makes me question about the that's what I'm saying, you guys, for them to put in a report that they did a welfare check. I asked Tempe Police Department to do so. I have a recording with that as well. I will show you guys that eventually. Excuse me, but I put it in a missing person report with them. Of course, they did not do so, but they did later have a report with them saying they uh, got a request from the Buckeye Police Department, and that was because I had initiated that as well. And I'm gonna put that video, that information together, that recording as well. So everything's backing up when I'm saying everything that I will say on here on social media, everything I have receipts. I back up everything I say from audio to you name it. So those things is that it was really painful for me to hear that. I'll be honest with you guys. That's why you hear me sound this way. It's painful for me to hear this because the emotional state of where I was at when had to deal with Daniel being gone, and then I was tired, traveling, tired, trying to get my mind right. Um, you know, not knowing what the next step was going to be, and then constantly talking to officers all day, trying to get them to go out in the desert to search for him. So if they claim they did this helicopter search, they would have told me then. The only time I heard about a helicopter search was getting ready to happen is when my auntie called me excited and saying, "We got the bird, Dave, we got the bird, we got the bird." And you say they got this helicopter they call a Phoenix Firebird or something, Firebird. And of course, I'm happy to hear that. But I was just getting into Phoenix then by that time, and and so there was no efforts to look for Daniel as the Buckeye Police Department was putting there, and I know that's the reasons why Daniel remains missing to this date. Nobody was out there looking for him. They said that this phone been in that ravine at 10 o'clock. They were not there looking for him anytime that evening or that night. You know, we can back it up even farther. There was no efforts from Daniel's job. Outside of his friend from the job going to my daughter's house alerting us about it. Nobody went out in the desert from Nature's New World looking for Daniel. Nobody from Nature's New World hired any searchers to go look for Daniel. Nobody from Nature's New World called the police department to say he was missing. I mean, think about all of that, you guys. Um, Nobody from the Buckeye Police Department outside Officer Cruz going up and down Sun Valley Parkway. And I got that too, you guys. They specifically telling me where they're looking for Daniel on the side of the road, not into the desert, as the Buckeye wanted to utilize words to say they was out there looking in the desert. No, they was not. Their own words told me they wasn't. Like I said, you guys, you listen to this officer Birch. Um, he had to put it in my information, my address. That's why I blurt that part out. Um, my address, my name, address, date of birth, all that kind of stuff. Daniel's address didn't have in the system. I'm like, well, how that's not in the system? In hindsight, looking back at it, how it's not in the system, and you saying you got them on a national database. I don't know. I don't know how that works. In my mind, I didn't know how that stuff worked. I was a victim, as I say, of family. Don't know about law enforcement stuff. We never had a missing person before. So they say, oh, it's on the database, but at the same time, they ask for information. So I don't get that. And this is, like I said, over 48 hours after Daniel went missing. So all the stuff that you'll hear on the report, because the Buckeye Police Department put in a report and the news media run off with it and say these things, that's why you guys you see me not, I don't trust anything Buckeye do or say, anything. I'm going to show you guys after 23rd as well a history of Buckeye. I'll show you guys the anonymous, the whistleblower reports from the Buckeye Police Department of guys inside the Buckeye Police Department talk about the corruption that goes on in there. So I'm telling you guys, that's not a department to have your loved one's case in if you're really in, like I am, searching for Daniel. Only way I can see Buckeye Police Department having any information that bringing Daniel home is by chance, by accident. Somebody came to them because they will not go to them. It'll be some incident like that. It wouldn't be because they're actively really involving themselves in a way to find Daniel. I see more efforts to prove that the vehicle in they eyes being in the ravine for 30 days, or that uh, he was what we say was he was having some mental depressed or whatever. If y'all listen to that recording right now, I was depressed. Do that sound like a man that's not depressed? Yeah, I'm depressed, but I didn't go missing because I'm depressed. I didn't go off myself or wreck my vehicle or something. That's besides the point. My son is missing, and then they spend more time to trash me. I'll be honest with you, I'm very offended, you guys. When I started reading more into that report, I'm very offended. I just look at it and I see how the Buckeye Police Department are twisting these things, and they put a narrative out there. First of all, they work on a narrative, and also at the same time attacking me personally, and I don't like that. because they feel like I'm attacking them personally. It's not personal. They take it like it's them. That's what I'm saying. When I say you guys, I'm not worrying about their feelings. I don't give a damn about their feelings. This is their job. I'm not on a job. This is their public servants. I have the right to criticize their work if they're not doing it right. I have the right to point out when they are wrong, and that's my job as a father. But they don't have a right to try to attack me personally. They not Buckeye. They work for Buckeye. They're workers. They also work for us. We work for the citizens. They're utilizing taxpayers' money. So they don't have a right to feel offended and personally attack someone through their report. And I didn't like that, you guys. And that's exactly what that feels like. Just looking at certain things that was put in the report that has nothing to do with my son. Don't have anything to, uh, you know, uh, don't have anything to do with Daniel. Period. It just don't make sense to me. And that just, like I said, this personal attack have to actually stop. And that's one thing Buckeye need to stop immediately. Another thing, you guys, but this report is, like I said, I want to see some of your comments about that. Which if you was able to hear everything, um, um, because like I said, you guys, there was no real active search for Daniel. They looked at him as grown, just like you said. Do you hear that too? He's a grown man, can disappear if you want to. You know, that's the assessment of that. And they treated it that way. Put him in this little database because his dad says he's missing. Yeah, we can go out and ride up and down Centerville Parkway, in which I'm not saying that Mr. Officer Cruz did it with some nefarious reason, like, oh man, I was doing it. No, I ain't saying that. But they took it that way. That narrative was, hey, he's a grown man, disappeared, want to, hey, we just ride up down. We can help him. We got a flat tire somewhere, stuck somewhere, and hey, your dad look for you. Everybody look for you. That type stuff. They approached it that way. They approached it in the seriousness that my family and I knew that would end up having him missing for almost 2 years now. They didn't approach it that way. If they would approach it that way at the beginning, like I said in in my little presentation, I believe we would have had Daniel right now today. I truly believe that. I truly believe that in the bottom of my heart. If the Buckeye Police Department did exactly what I asked them at the beginning, I had to sit there the whole day begging these officers to go out there and what they're gonna do. Did you talk to your higher up yet? That's why I asked this guy the same question. Did you talk to them yet? What are they gonna do? They're gonna put that helicopter. They're gonna go out there in the desert, look for them. They're gonna go, and that's what I'm saying. They're gonna go out in the desert. It wasn't a helicopter per se, but are you gonna go out into the desert to look for my son? Because they haven't to this point explained to me yet did it ever. So I'm saying, talking to them in live time, I said it's contradict to their report, you guys. At that moment, where they talked to me on the phone, I'm on there constantly. Not one officer went out there in the desert to look for Daniel. And that's the thing I'm saying, you guys. And that's the recorders and things I have talking to them directly. But the reporter have them saying something else. All right, and let me see here. Let me see if I have any more questions here, you guys. Thank you, T and Wildflower, for putting this information up, you guys. And that should be a bottom on the bottom of the screen, T and Wildflower. I really appreciate you putting that there because that's something I should have had on the bottom of the screen. And put that on the bottom. If you guys have a tip, you guys utilize that tip line. That will help, me and my family. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. Live operators. You can remain anonymous. If you don't, like Team Wildflower say here, if you don't want to speak to anybody, you can just text the word tip to that number and you can still remain anonymous. Text the word tip, a form will come up and you can fill that out and still remain anonymous. I did receive a tip, anonymous tip. And, I received many of them, but this one in particular, you guys, was really promising about something, and I went ahead and did some work on that. And so far, it's not fanning out, like I said earlier, but I'm not giving up hope of answers that I may have. So, again, and since I said that, I want to back up and also what I saw in the report. And I am offended by a lot of stuff with that. About me holding back from, they put paint a narrative of me holding back from Buckeye. First of all, I'm gonna say it up front again, like I said many times before. I do not work for Buckeye Police Department. They work for me. I'm the family. They should be out there busting their ass, doing things for my family, right? So first of all, I'm gonna put it up front. Chief Hall, I do not work for you. I don't work for your department, and I'm a citizen. So I'm put it up front. Secondly, I'm looking for my son, right? And I've done everything I can to work with the Buckeye Police, but I gave them so much information until it ain't even funny, you guys. I even went so far as when I started my own searches without law enforcement help, they ain't put a dime into my searches, you guys. You guys have been donating and helping the searches be possible, right? Didn't put a dime or their time or a dime or and money, anything into the searches, you guys. But yet I have my website, even to this now, you guys go right now and please help finddan.com and put submit information and you submit something on that thing, guess what's going to happen? Whatever you submit, a copy will come to me. One time I used to go to my investigator when I had him, and one copy go to the Buckeye Police Department directly to Detective Biffin. But Chief Hall would write these things, say I'm holding back stuff from them. No, you holding things back from my family. You're holding back other law enforcement agencies that will be willing to help. You're holding back information that definitely will help find my son because they refusing to accept the information we give them and accept the foul play that it is. You guys, to this day, almost 2 years later, don't come up. Oh yeah, we suspect the foul play now. Oh, on day one when we talked to you guys, we gave you information for foul play when that vehicle showed up. So again, I don't work for the Buckeye Police Department, and they should know that, first of all. And I never ever heard back anything. But I tell you what, I don't trust them with anything. But the thing is, seems like the Buckeye Police Department more concerned about drugs as their new K9 cadet named Echo went into training. I'm going to put this up real quick. I was happened to read this, guys. I went to training to detect meth and fentanyl last month. You know, well, you know, that's law enforcement. Whatever they do, you know, what I'm saying the thing is, um, I don't see any, I just see more or their report is like if you read it, guys. I'll be honest, I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning reading that report. I'm not completely finished at the bottom, but I'm near it. And I was sitting there reading, and I just couldn't put it down because I felt like I was reading a novel or something, right? I literally feel like I was reading a novel. I was like, when does the report turn to a novel? I'm telling you guys, it's been eloquently written in a way to get you guys to believe that a lot was done. And I know, and my opinion is, I know they probably their attorney or their city attorney wrote this for them. Wrote it so pretty, like almost like a real pretty thing or something. I mean, it's really, if you really look at it and you really read it and you kind of just go and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like a really crafty thing, like something you have to sit there for a while or a group of people to get together and just craft this thing in a way, just craft it. Basically, it's not genuine. It's just like a crafted thing, and so that's what it feels like. It got that theme of something, right? And so, but I'm saying is to deep dive into it. I have to wait till after this Candlelight Vigil. You hear me keep talking about it, and I've been wanting to stay concentrated on this, but I do have a problem with it, you guys. I have a problem with it because I see those things, and I know these things, and it's like that person attack on me, and especially when these guys, and then I told the Sergeant Hanneman, whatever his name was, he had me and my daughter in interrogation. Never been in interrogation room. First time ever in my life been in interrogation rooms with the Buckeye Police Department. In interrogation room with my daughter, my young daughter, Daniel's sister, and when he heard that I would record everything, you should saw his face after he told us to break into Daniel's apartment, just don't get caught, right? Detective, he's the detective sergeant. I think it's Sergeant Hanneman or something like that. Hanneman and something like that. Told us to break into Daniel's apartment. This is crime now. This is police telling us to do a crime. Break into the apartment, just don't get caught. I mean, I don't know if that's racist or what, but like we can just do it, right? And and I said, I was having a conversation with them, and I said, yeah, I record everything, and I told him right there, I recorded. He said, he stood up behind the seat. He said, you record everything? And I said, yes, I record everything. His face turned red. He went out for a second and came back. Right? I record everything. I do, and that is the way I am. Right? And so the thing is, um, 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 that's why I say Buckeye Police Department need to be careful what they say too now, because they say these things in the report, but then they don't match up to what they said to me on the phone, for instance, or what they said to me in my face, or whatever the case may be, right? So I don't get that. I don't really get that. So the point is, I'm saying, you guys, when you say this about them being concerned about that's, I see that a lot. That's just not in Daniel's case. I see that a lot in cases in general. Um, they'll get this bit like that guy I told you guys about Tempe Police Department at the time. I went to the city council meeting uh, to talk about Daniel's case, right, to the city council, and they had a big protest out there. I mean, just people's mad, like they was just mad. I don't know what was going on at that time, and I knew me and my team was in there, and we didn't know what was going on. And the cameras was coming out, the local news or whatever, and it's all because they watched this homeless man drown. I mean, I think they was chasing him or something they did to him, and the man got in the river or whatever that is and drowned. They just sat on the bank and watched the man drown. But then the same river, I think it was, or could have been another water. I know it's a waterway like that. The same department save a dog, right? They went out there to go save a dog. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to save a dog too, but I think a human life is just as much or more or just as much valuable as a dog. So you can watch a human being drown, and you get praise for in social. You get on social media and show pictures of also saving a dog or a dog out of a tree or something. I mean, a cat out of a tree or something, and that's supposed to be praise or something about you go rescue an animal, but you couldn't go rescue a human being. So I get that. I get that. So I'm saying is what you had put up there. Um, you know, um, it is what it is. It is that's I'll say that's not unique to law enforcement to me. I see it a lot in different ways. Thanks for so much for your question here. Is there unquestionably criminal? Is there a link to Daniel's text messages? Was anything unusual to you in his messages? I got all of Daniel's text messages. Only thing unusual about Daniel's text messages, I promise you guys, ain't nothing unusual about his text messages. Nothing about him being depressed or anything else. Um, and that should be something said something too. I have every last one of Daniel's text messages going far back, years back. Well, not years back, but a whole year back or so until he went missing. Right, all the text messages. And I'm telling you, the only unusual thing is that female's text message. This hearsay text message they told this woman, and that's crazy part is the officer that's not even in the report, Officer Haley, told me he told the girl to upload this thing. So I'm saying, you guys, I'm saying this also Haley been out of the report for whatever reason, right? I want to know if he's related to this young lady. But anyway, uploaded this, allow her to upload her own stuff into this report, her own text messages, right? Hearsay. In the court of law, it'd be like, that's hearsay. Oh, this is what he said. I mean, how do we know that's what he said? And you look at this, the way it's written, and you can see the timestamp disappear and all this kind of stuff, like somebody typing their own little thing. It's weird to me. First of all, the other part is it don't match his bank his phone records. And we said this to Buckeye all the time. They ignore that stuff. They ain't gonna tell y'all that. It don't add up. The numbers of text messages they have between each other don't count. Is missing. A lot of stuff missing, and something added is more on her side than what So that type stuff. So you got to look at that bulk, and then the other part is they got tired. They waited almost a year, way over a year, and they said, "Oh, we retrieved some." Now they had the phone. Now think about this. Now they had the phone on June 19th, July the 19th of 2021. And they waited up to almost in 2022 and said, "Oh yeah, we got data. We got the deleted texts from the phone." Well, put it on your report then. I like to let me see that. First of all, I'm gonna tell you why that's a lie, you guys. I mean, I don't know, maybe you can get deleted texts or whatever, but they don't even have the phone. I have the phone. And you can't do it from a clone. They clone the data, but how you gonna get a deleted text messages from the phone without having the phone deleted? And it's not even in the deleted folder because I've looked into that. It's gone, right? Nothing there, zero, blank. And you look it up, and any guys can Google us and find out how long do messages stay in your deleted trash or whatever. After I think 30 or 90 days, I think I remember correctly, it's gone. I think it was 30 days. Matter of fact, 30 days. It's gone, deleted permanently, right? And so I'm saying they claiming this woman's text message when they've been talking for X amount of time, and then why he deleted this right here, and here it is almost 30 later, and here it is. You guys don't even have the phone, and then say, "Oh, we got to delete a text message." Well, show us that, because why they ain't gonna do that, because they know I'm gonna go into the report. I'm gonna pull out that phone record and point out to you guys why I don't match up what they're saying. But the ironic say you want to ask the questions about this text messages, unquestionably criminal. Um, why is her message the only one? I get every message that Daniel and I had on our phone matches my phone, right? Text message. I can't say about his mama and his mother and his siblings and his friends, but it seemed that way because you go through there, you see all their conversations and people I don't know, and Daniel has a conversation, they talk about the game and whatever, having these conversations. But the irony to all of that is the females, or hers out of everybody in his phone, hers is missing. The text message on that's missing. The pictures of the missing. His memory card in the phone was missing. You know, the Google history was deleted. I'm saying, to show location. So that's not criminal to them. What I'm saying is, you guys, that was the only unusual part of the whole text message and the phone situation. And I'm saying they are very selective of what they want to tell you guys in their report. They put all the stuff in the report about what Mr. McGrath said, and don't want to put stuff like that. That's point, or what the rancher said. Why you can't put that in there? Rancher said the vehicle wasn't there 2 days. He was there, and the vehicle wasn't there 2 days prior. Why that's not a report? They was refusing that thing when the vehicle showed up. You guys, like I'm saying, you got to think about this, guys. They was arguing me that the vehicle was there for 30 days, probably on July the 22nd, before they even get data. Why they want this vehicle there? And they went through the whole streams into 2023 to give it a mile IQ app to prove that it was there for 30 days or something that they're trying to prove, whatever. I'm trying to figure that out. What is so significant about trying to make this vehicle there for 30 days? So anyway, but the text messages, like I said, questionably unique, questionably criminal. That's the only thing that stood out to me in that whole thing with that phone. Also, Le, again, thank you so much for your question. Daniel's employer, have they helped in the search? He went missing on the job, it sounds. Yes, he went missing on the job. He was on the clock, in other words. Like I said, again, Matrix New World, Matrix Southwest Groundwater have not put in, as far as I know, as far as I know to this date, haven't put in a missing person report. They haven't gone out to search for him. No, I know that part. They haven't paid anybody to go search for Daniel. They have resources that I didn't. I had to come to you guys. And I can't say that, but no, they did come help in my searches. Started my searches. My son's direct supervisor, along with his friend, you guys know is Roger, and a couple others from the job. And like I said all the time, I can't say it was the company director to say, "Hey," in the meeting, say, "Y'all workers, I'm picking you. Y'all would go into help Mr. Robinson in the search." And when it was helping, they came in a group. I said it was a group about a good 8, 9, 10 people or somewhere around that range. And they came with Mr. I can say his name right now because I didn't see the report yet, but his direct supervisor. And they asked how can they help in the search. And so I had them. What they would do, they'll stay around the gate and help direct people into the desert, right? And then they would break off on their own. For some reason, they just love to hang around the well site and search around there, but kind of hike around that area. But yeah, they did come to searches, and for a while, I say for a good month, and then after a while, they started drilling out. But the direct supervisor, him and his wife, they came out a little longer until they finally just fade off too. And then there were no Matrix New World workers coming out to the searches. But yes, at the beginning, yes. But let's see here. I'll see if I have any more questions. I really try to see some of these comments. If you guys have any questions, please put a letter capital Q there. Put the question marks like Lee did here. Question mark, capital letter Q, the word question, before your question, and that I can help when I come down to the comment section. I can find your question. So, some of these comments I would like to put up there, but for lack of time, you guys is coming up to the 2 hour mark. I want to focus on the questions right now. Tea and Wildflower. Oh, if you have a question, thanks so much for putting that up. If you have a question, please put the capital letter Q, write the word question, or put a question mark before your question so that it can be easily identified. Thank you again, T and Wildflower, for putting that up. I do have a question from Diane. Thank you so much for being on the Facebook side. Have you contacted Texas Aqua Search? The police has the police department has to ask for their help. Maybe one department that seems to be doing more can request help instead of the Buckeye. Instead of Buckeye. Yes, I have. I talked to Dave Rader there with Aqua Search, as also I can't think of the other person's name. I think his name was Robinson too. But anyway, they told me, Diane, and I said this many times on here, and I'm gonna say it this way, and this is exactly how it was given to me. Daniel case do not fit their profile. You know, paraphrasing a little, but that's exactly what was given to me. Whatever that means, I don't know what that means. By Aqua Search feel, Texas Aqua Search feel that it don't fit the profile. I don't know exactly what they do, but to their defense, they after they told me that they would not be able to help because they don't fit their profile. They did give me information to a different nonprofit. Say, hey, look, you can check them out because at the time I'll look for drones too, and everybody know that I've been asking many people, can they help? Because I really wanted to buy drones for the search because I as people come out with drones and things, but I did reach out to the company they referred me to. EquiSearch referred me to the nonprofit. That nonprofit, just like EquiSearch, would like to be invited by law enforcement as well. I did invite for that particular search. I invited the Buckeye Police Department out. Also invited them out. This nonprofit, and he asked me, can I ask Buckeye to invite them? They just like to be invited. Some kind of way. Either way, he'll come. So I did that. I put it into a letter. The request to the Buckeye Police Department Chief Hall. I also asked them to request these guys to help. I'm sure they must did, but when the day came of the search, this is a nonprofit. I talked to them to see, get them the information I'm doing, but the guy told me they weren't coming because he said his workers or something out other not showing up or didn't show up or something out other, and he couldn't do it by himself. So to make a long story short, the only nonprofit I ever helped in my efforts to find Daniel is the Black and Missing Foundation. I can say that they did donate not only money to help with the searches, but they also sent out a drone company to help with the searches. So that's the only nonprofit that helped in my efforts out there in the desert. Is the Black and Missing Foundation. So I can't say that part, but I have reached out on to Texas Aqua Search because I know a lot of people have, and I think they have another one called without a mission without a purpose or something like that. Excuse me. I've tried to reach out to a lot of these nonprofits. I've reached out to so many nonprofits. A lot of them I just can't remember their names. Excuse me, you guys. Losing my voice. But I've reached out to so many of them, and I lost track of names. But I can't say any of it. This is the sad truth. The Black and Missing Foundation, the only foundation that ever helped in my efforts when it comes to nonprofits. Also, let's see here. I got Long Gone. Thanks so much for your question. Do you know if there are any motorcycle clubs that ride that particular area? I don't know him by name, but I did have at one point I had a search coordinator. He's from Buckeye, and he knew a lot of motorcycle bike clubs, things like that, to reach out to them as well to come out to the searches. I haven't seen any that came out, but yes, we reached out to a lot of those type clubs in the past. Also, let me see. I wish I can get some of these comments too. Thank you guys for these comments in the chats. I'm running out of time, so I want to make sure I get the questions. PM Channel, thanks so much for your question. Did you ever find out why the guy who pretended to be an FBI agent was out there? Why he lied about his identity? You know, he denied it. Um, Now he's denying that he ever um, uh, identified himself as a law enforcement officer and all that, but he's lying. He did. He showed us badges. As a matter of fact, I had a group of guys called themselves investigators that came out of California. They was really um, disturbed by this gentleman. They told me that they looked at his badge and they feel like it was fake or whatever, but they're from California. They weren't sure, but he said he was, because they type of officers themselves, retired or whatever, but they're investigators that came out of California. But yeah, this guy showed many people his badge and and identified himself as a law enforcement officer. You guys see on my felon press call, so my investigator believed it somehow. And but the thing is, what happened to him? Like I said, you guys, the story behind that. He came to us first. He came myself, my search crew, who in turn brought him to me. I sent him to my investigator, and then after we discussed and I talked to Detective Biffin about it, and then Detective Biffin, I guess, was willing to finally, because he told me the Buckeye Police Department would not take his story, and they finally decided to listen to him. I was on the phone with this guy all the way he was riding from Phoenix to the Buckeye Police Department. He and I was talking on the phone, and he said he was nervous about going to talk to them. But once he got to the station, I told him, hey, well, call me back when you get finished. Let me know what's up, what happened. You know, but at the time I was actually trying to believe his story. And then he never called back. So at the time, I'll be honest with you, I say, "Oh man, I hope they ain't put him in jail for something." I mean, what happened? Why the guy didn't, come back out of there? I tried to call the guy. He went on his phone for almost 3 days. 3 days later, he called me back and said he was uh, had to go straight back to work or something out of it. That's why he didn't call back. But he said he did talk to the Buckeye Police Department. I later in 2022, roughly January, February 2022, talked to the Buckeye Police Department, Detective Biffin, and asked him about the guy. He said, "Oh, they vetted his story and they believe him." That's what he told me. And I'm like, "Well, I mean, how's that? I don't believe him. I don't believe his story because he changed his storyline. He's changed the storyline to me. That started making me look at him as suspect because my investigative report came back from California saying the vehicle first accident happened around, it was like 12 something, I might as well say 1 o'clock. It was real close to 1 o'clock. And the first accident happened at 1 o'clock with the vehicle. When he heard that, he changed his story. Say, "Oh, it was 10 o'clock." Told us 10 o'clock. Oh, I remember it was 10 o'clock when I seen Daniel last. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, and so that was suspect to me. The other part is, you guys, when T and Wild, not T and Wildflower, that was Shiro's Nation. You guys, she's on this chats, doing the thing when I had the Q&A, and the Buckeye to Department, they put in their report. They still um, didn't think about this. And this come from one of you guys. When I say you guys, people in the chats. And that's why I say I love your questions and things. PM Channel asked a question on, just like you are asking PM Channel. I'm sorry, Shiro's Nation asked a question, PM Channel. News Nation asked a question on, like you have. She said, "Mr. Robinson, how can Daniel," because this guy's story was, you guys, if you remember, his story was he seen Daniel through the scope of his rifle, saw the vehicle. Then he saw him later on by the side of the riverbank of the Wagner Wash, right? And he said he talked to Daniel, approached him, and Daniel seemed nice and all the stuff, right? But he said he explained to him he's out there target practicing with his children, and he tried to look for the proper place to shoot, right? And Dan said, "Oh no," he told him where to go and direct him to where he needed to go shoot his rifle with his kids. There you said, right? Daniel's real nice. He didn't smell no weed or nothing going on, no drugs. He said, and this is how you put it. He said, "I know drugs. I know drugs. He ain't had no drugs. I ain't smell no weed, nothing." There you say it, right? Okay. So Shiro's next question was, well, how come Daniel direct this guy to where to go shoot and he never been out there before? This is the first time ever going out there in that area. First time. How can he know where to tell this guy to go? And it's like a light bulb moment for me. And I was like, you know what? You're right, Shiro's Nation. It's impossible for my son to get his man directions, and he never been out there before, right? And so that's further made me put him as a suspect. But then I was still able to talk to this guy because then I started getting information from him from where he's from, the stuff about other state. And I'm gonna put it out because I got some information. But then that got cut short because of, like I told you guys, sometimes I get it. You guys want to help out a lot, and I really appreciate all those who helped in Dan's case. But this one particular person went out and tried to do investigating on his own, and went to go approach this guy's information because they hear me saying, so I guess the name they found. I don't know how they got his name because I didn't put it out at the time. Got the man name and placed his whole rap sheet out on social media. So of course this guy's gonna shut down. So that when he shut down, that means that I can't get no more information, right? Because I already looked at him as suspect. So the thing is, I'm saying is, you guys, you asked a question about him pretending to be an FBI. It wasn't FBI. He said law enforcement officer, or however that means. And and I don't know what happened to him. I just left it up to Buckeye last. Last I talked to Detective Biff, and he asked me 3 months ago, almost 3 months ago now. He called me out of the blue, said, "Hey, you remember that guy? What you talking about right now? The guy that said he was a law enforcement officer." I said, "Yeah, yeah." He said he asked me. I got him. I got him on this call too. He asked me, said, "What you think about him?" I told him, I said, "You remember? I think him as a suspect," and I told him reasons why. I gave him all the things. I told him reasons why. Then I see it in this report about this guy. They bring it up. So, but Detective Biff asked me what I thought about it, and I gave him all the evidence as the reason why I think of him as a suspect. But anyway, that's where we at on that. Let's see. Any more questions? I really appreciate your questions, everybody. But you know what? Just don't forget, you guys. We got the 23rd, and we do have this the Unity Candlelight Vigil, and I really want us to everybody, if you can, please participate in that. It is a very important event. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and get more information how you can help. Because I'm really pushing. You guys having the family members that want to be on, join in with the Unity Candlelight Vigil, have missing loved one. Hit us up on Please Help Find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Myself or my team member myself or my team member will get you in contact with me to add you in on this Unity Candlelight Visual live. You guys, if you want to be a part of that. All right. Because I really want everybody to hear your loved one's story. If you don't want to be a part of the live, you guys, if you have missed a loved one and you just want me to share information about your loved one, send that to the Please Help Find Daniel at yahoo.com email, and I will utilize the information on the live as well. So you don't actually have to be there on the live like I am talking. I know it's very difficult for a lot of families, but if you want me to share your story, I definitely want to do that. So because a lot of people, I'm really having faith that all of you guys will join in and watch the live and hear these names and hear these stories and share it on your social media. And that's what it's for. That's bringing the families together, bringing families together. So you guys who's in the chats right now who don't have a missing loved one, and you're coming together to help the families who do have a missing loved one share their stories. And that's what the Unity Candlelit Visual is all about, to remember those families that we need to help who have missing loved ones and want to share their stories. So, Leah, thanks so much for being here on Facebook. Mr. Roberts, forgive me for asking, but I am in a few true crime groups. We have a post for your son. What is the foul play that you found if you don't mind sharing? Well, it's a couple of things. You got to look at the totality of events, you guys. First of all, for me, the foul play happens when we know my son, my family. We know our son. We know his mannerism. We know things that just don't make sense with Daniel. For instance, he just won't join a monastery, become a monk, or he masterminded this thing and did it to himself, crashed into a ravine and just walked off some kind of way and disappeared. Right? Orchestrated this. The other part is, for me, starting off at the beginning, that made me question. I already questioned Ken's story anyway. You guys, about the first place, being at that first well site. I questioned that already. Period. I almost have a question: was he ever at that well site? But anyway, we can go back to that later. But one of the things is, if you follow that story, for me knowing my son, If my son didn't want to go to work that day, he wouldn't have went to work that day, right? He wanted to say, "Hey, I'm going to leave. Hey, you want to leave? Let's go back to Phoenix or whatever the case may be." First of all, he went to the first well site, never alone a second well site. While he was fine at the first well site, we did his job, and he took some pictures, and 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 uh, and then he make it to the second well site. Those are suspect to me. The other part is everything that happened with the vehicle, the ironically to the Buckeye Police Department telling two. This is another thing you guys gonna learn too. Tell two different stories. They say, hey, they first initially told us um, there was all they couldn't get no Uconnect information from that vehicle that show location where this vehicle was at, right? Then they later called me back and say, "Oh yeah, we can. We talked to Uconnect, and they said, yeah, they connect to it, and all zero grids. They can't get that. What that mean? Oh, that mean that somebody probably tampered with it, or they took the battery loose, something like that, tamper with the device or whatever, right? Then they changed and say, oh yeah, now we go talk to them, and we could go and made up a password and all this kind of stuff. So they keep changing the story with that. So what I'm saying is, we got to go back to the tampering with his Uconnect. I'm not gonna forget about that. There's a possibility somebody disconnect the battery for that purpose, right? The other part is the pro part is Daniel's a young man, and we all attached to our cell phones, right? If they claiming a head injury, I'll do an example. They claiming this head injury, but at the same time, he has so much common sense to do all this other stuff. But um, um, he would have took a cell phone with him, first of all. He's a young man. The phone was dead. They claimed they couldn't get cell phone pings and all this kind of crazy crap. When the phone was ringing, you heard the recording I had, and I just let y'all listen to. We was calling all day, and when I say calling all day, we was calling all day when the Daniel first went missing. I said all day. Soon we found out he was missing. We've been calling all night. Is why I want to probably put the best word to it. And then until the phone ended up dying the next day. The phone ring, 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 and then it finally go to voicemail. That means to me that it must have finally died after all these phone calls and it's been constantly ringing or something. And it finally went dead. That's another indication something's not right. But then we started getting to the point where he's been missing almost 30 days, and the vehicle finally shows up in the desert. Right, just pops in the desert. When people been on that spot dozen times, the police, law enforcement been over that spot. Volunteers could have been over there because we spread it all over the place, just random doing. We had no line searches then. We're just looking for Daniel rescue mission. So as far as I know, volunteers could even been over that area. But I definitely know law enforcement say they did, and I know the rancher did, and the vehicle wasn't there, right? So the vehicle wasn't there. But I'm saying, you guys, we don't this forgive the IQ crap that they came up with now, because I got something to say about that some other time. But for right now, yes, the question, and I'm going about what I got. And the thing is, you guys, you couple that, like I said, the vehicle showed up. The man said it wasn't there. He called law enforcement. He was there on the ground. So I mean, law enforcement say, "Well, we missed it from the air because it was so clear on the ground that we missed it somehow magically. We missed it with the other search. They walked past it and they looked to the left. They could have looked to the left, looked down, they would have saw it or something. I don't know what excuses they made. They couldn't see it, right? But if you got a man say, I was right here in that ravine and it wasn't there, I mean, come on now. That's one thing. The other part is to the foul play. When a vehicle found on that scene and he's missing, but when my investigator found all the information that he found, right? First of all, the vehicle lying on the side. There's his clothing on the ground in a pile. Could you imagine? I use things from a common sense point. Could you imagine having a brain injury? You so dazed or whatever they want to say or whatever it was. He kicked his way out of the sunroof. First of all, he dazed but kicked his way out of the sunroof, and he said, "Oh my God, I got a head injury. I don't want to mark or anything, but then I feel like I'm hot, and I'm taking these clothes off because I'm hot, but I'm gonna sit them in a pile." I took my time and put them in a pile outside the vehicle. You hot, you slinging the clothes everywhere, dragging your clothes off and throw it somewhere, right? Why are you gonna put it in a pile together? First of all, the other part is, you guys. I mean, we start slowing it down. Don't go so fast as the report. Slow it down and start using like things that to me is common sense, right? The other part is without evidence, without evidence, they said there was no blood in the vehicle. Where's the evidence? Did you test this vehicle with luminol and this and that, blah blah blah? We don't have no evidence there's blood in the vehicle because we didn't test it either. I was waiting on law enforcement to do so. You guys find blood in the vehicle if it's there. Somebody could have wiped it or something. I don't know. But the thing is, the vehicle sitting on the side. It was there, wasn't there for 30 days. That's so first indications of that as well. The other part is you guys look at the red transfer paint. There's nothing red on the side of red in the desert that the vehicle came in contact with. We can have these discrepancies about this mileage thing with the Buckeye police want to be there, and it's about this mileage thing, but it's definitely 46 initial cycles on that vehicle. Rather, um, uh, you look at anything uh, uh, what I'm saying, you guys, both things can't be true. That's what I'm saying. So I had to go with what I know. Because when I look at a vehicle sitting on the side, they saying it was there for 30 days, and that was happened at 10 o'clock that morning. So you trying to tell me Daniel was sitting in that vehicle on the passenger side while sitting on the side on the driver's side, pressing the gas pedal and cranking it up 46 times? No, it's physically and humanistically impossible, first of all. The other part is it just goes on and on and on. I could go through the whole case scenario, you guys. You guys know the whole case scenario when you start looking at this case because I feel like I'm going through the whole thing over again, which I am. What happened at the scene? The vehicle sitting there on the side. You talking about the vehicle being cranked up 46 times. It been driven 11 additional miles, and here it is. Buckeye even want to get to the point and say, "Oh, the wheel's been rolling for 11 miles or something on the side or something." Like, really? It has been sitting there rolling for 11 miles. Yeah. To get the 11 miles on. I mean, I've been hearing all this kind of crazy crap, right? So um I'm saying with something else I was going to point out too with that because you just that question about what is um the foul play that you see. Yeah, it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it when it comes to that vehicle itself in nature. I'm saying that's the part I'm saying in nature. If you got to look at that part, but evidence wise, like I said again, law enforcement saying quickly, there's no foul, but we don't see no foul play. But you don't see, you know what I'm saying? You don't see no evidence of no foul play, but you see evidence of foul play, possible foul play from that. Just looking at the scene, this period, right? Of what happened on that scene. I'm not an expert, but anybody can look at that scene and know that something Daniel did not do that on his own. That's not something that's a result of an accident. Um, it don't matches the information that we know about that vehicle as well. The 11 additional miles, the like I said, 46 initial cycle, the time of day it happened is in disagreement with this whole thing they coming up with now. I'm saying, you guys, none of that stuff matches up. But then you have an eyewitness. That's another thing. An eyewitness that was there on the ground to say the vehicle wasn't here. I mean, you gonna call the man a liar. What you don't like, you gonna call a liar and try to disprove against it or something. Because if you gotta if it's just like you they're going after this guy, and you gotta ask what the motivation is for the rancher to lie and say I was here and the vehicle wasn't there, right? I was here 2 days prior and it wasn't there. So it's out of there, it wasn't there, and we have too much evidence to say it wasn't there. So if the vehicle wasn't there, which I know it wasn't, Leah. That's foul play, right? The problem is, I'm saying is 30 days later, the vehicle planted there, put there, like my investigator said, he said it was a stage event, right? Stage events, evidence of stage event. They only evidence they got to say, the Buckeye got to say that it's not a stage event is they chase out this MalIQ app now. Because the whole entire time, they were saying it was 30 days. It was there for 30 days before. You guys, I'm telling you, it's probably like July the 20th something. It wasn't even August yet. August yet. Where they was already pre in their mind putting this vehicle there for 30 days without evidence. But you have all this evidence at the time that's saying it wasn't there from the testimony, as well as the evidence that's there presented on the mileage and everything else. And they had to actually work hard to 2023 to try to put something together to say it was there for 30 days. But the vehicle wasn't there for 30 days, Leah, and that's what made foul play for me instantly for me. But all the other little details in there with the clothing items and things, and also you can't forget also, Leah, there's a sock, right? If you think about it, you got a sock that matches that it is Daniel's sock that was found near the well site that matches the sock inside the evidence badge that Buckeye say they claim they collected from that scene, right? Um, where I mean, why is that? You know, that type deal. So, so it's a lot to the story, a lot of other things that, of course, I probably wouldn't be able to put out, but that's one of the just of the things that's in the public that we know right now, and foul play, foul play, definitely. And they're not looking towards that way. They're trying to find every ways to prove that it's not foul play, then accept the evidence that's there, and then take those evidence and do something about it. Like, for instance, take the evidence and check these airbags to make sure nobody else was driving the vehicle. Nobody was on the passenger side. All I know, somebody could have been holding Daniel up, or something. You don't know. Somebody could have been in the back seat. All the airbags deployed. Somebody could have been in the back seats. I don't know. Something happened right there, but there was no, like Detective Biffle said in the recorded call, that he didn't see no reason to even do any forensics work. But again, Leah, it's like the same question you asked me. Say, um, um, uh, what is foul play? What is the foul play that you found? Right? If that was a police officer's car, the same exact situation, right? Like I said many times before on here, police officer car sitting on the side. God forbid it'll take 30 days, almost 30 days. I'll say the day, second day. Second day, first day, no, the same day. Same day. The boss, they all they know is also they say, hey, talking to Ken at this well site. He came through the well, say, hey, sir, you doing okay? Yeah. He said, man, I seen the officer just raised off and drove down south. Then a few hours later, the police department look and say, where's this officer? We can't track his vehicle, whatever case maybe they claim. And then they go, lo and behold, they found some rancher call, say, hey, I see an officer cruiser sitting out here in the ravine, and it wasn't here an hour ago, but now it's here, and it's laying on the side, and you see an officer uniform lying on the ground 3 feet away from the vehicle. You think they'll be asked the question is, um, what proof of this is foul play? No, they're gonna treat it just like foul play. They're gonna be investigations to find out what happened to this officer. There'll be also people running from all over the ground. They're gonna look at that scene and say and automatically come up with foul play. This officer didn't just walk off and disappear for no reason. Uniform. They don't go to his family and say, here's everything for safekeeping. And yeah, the app says that this vehicle happened at this time, and that is the end of the story. We ain't got nothing. We don't know what to do. We ain't got nothing else to do. Then we ain't gonna test the airbags to see if somebody else took the officer and drove his car off. We ain't gonna do this. We'll swab the steering wheel and think. Come on now. What I'm saying, you guys. What I'm saying is treat Daniel Case the same as that way. That's the whole bottom line. When you come with the foul play part, what is not foul play? What I'm saying? That's what I versed that question. Like, he's asked me, what is the foul play found in this thing? What is the foul? What's the evidence of non-foul play? What I'm saying? With everything that you know about it. What is it about this case when it comes to the 11 additional miles, the red transfer paper, where it come from, the airbags not being tested? I mean, how you know if it's foul play or not if you don't even go look for it and see if there's something there? You just look at it and say you're trying to do everything you can to prove the opposite. That's the way I look at it. And so, but that's it. That's all the information I have with that is to give is that everything on the scene suggests the foul play. The evidence of Daniel not being a person who just go away and don't let his family know exactly. Then, nevertheless, being 30 days pass and not hear from him. You know, rather somebody can say, well, what if it was there for 30 days and he went off somewhere and I mean, I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me that we would have found him by now if he was out there, for one thing. Second of all, it's so contradictory to everything that law enforcement said at the beginning. I even have Detective Biffin saying that um, the dogs didn't track anything coming from that scene. There was no tracks of him walking away from the scene. There's no nothing to say he even been at that scene. You know what I'm saying? So um, it goes along consistent with my investigative found of the stage event is that there's no evidence of Daniel ever been at that scene. Those clothing, I didn't know even Daniel's clothes. They said, well, that's his clothing on the ground, just like the detectives told me in that meeting. I said, how you know Daniel's driving? He said, well, it's his car. It's obvious he was driving. If that's evidence of, what I'm saying, to law enforcement, that's crazy to me. Have you checked to see if he was driving it? You get what I'm saying? So the whole bottom line, like I said, is the closer we have for foul plays, everything that you guys see on that scene, and also everything we know when it comes to the information that was given to us about what happened at the scene of the vehicle being staged there. And I'm still standing on that. And I know you guys are looking at what they put out now about this Mal IQ app. And I'm saying this is why I gave y'all the text message, the email the other day on this live of the guy who the Mal, same person, Charlie, you guys see on the report on a call. I was sharing that with you guys eventually too, eventually. And where he says only thing he had was they didn't have like for that date. That's what I'm trying to figure out where Buckeye get this from, because he told me everything from the 22nd forward he don't have, period. But he have the movements from him on the 22nd, the day before, and something about the other. But then the other part is the GPS, some kind of for lack of words, I'm meaning, um, it's like the waypoints. Yeah, the waypoints has been deleted off his server like every 90 days or something or other, and it can't be retrieved or something or other. So off of their server. So I'm trying to figure out where they get all the stuff from when the guy said it was unretrievable. And unless they went through his system and all, that, some kind of find a way to do it, he can't do it. So that type deal. But yeah, they found information. I wanted to back it up. In other words, I just don't take what Buckeye have to say face value. I have to go verify that, because it goes against everything that we know about this case. It goes against the rancher story. It goes against the red transfer. It goes against the infotainment system that says the incident happened at 1 o'clock. Both things can't be true at the same time. What I'm saying, only way it can be true, that mean it, like I said, I've been saying facetious. That vehicle was at the top of the ravine and took 3 hours to get down to the bottom. So, so all that can't be true at the same time. Thank you, Leah. Unquestionably criminal question: would you accept a donation of a drone? I'd be willing to fundraise and send you one. Yeah, if we do another search, and that's why I'm really working on unquestionably criminal. Yes, I definitely would, because we need them out there. We need a drone. Matter of fact, I want to say were able to purchase a drone. It wasn't a drone that I necessarily actually needed out there. And I was asking law enforcement and many others, but law enforcement especially, is the drones that can have certain technology that can actually look at ground disturbances with the right program and stuff like that. But they are very expensive, and I wasn't willing to take the money and purchase those at the time. But I did get a drone that was able to help keep the volunteers safe by going ahead and looking at the terrain, and also give me opportunity to do searches through my computer later on and go back and look at things we're going to be searching the next following week and stuff like that. So I was able to purchase a drone within the last few searches that I did. So, but a drone. But yeah, we need many as possible to be out there. So yes, I would never say no to those drones when we need them out there. But the searches, again, I want to put out the unquestionably criminal. I'm working on those searches for the summer, and they have to be that one search for the summer, but it have to be a search that keeping everybody safe, because it's hot in Arizona this time of the year. Anna, thanks so much. Question here: was any DNA testing done on the car? No. Well, I asked for the fingerprinting. They said they did swabbing of the steering, and to this date, um, y'all had to ask these questions too. They did the swabbing around the July the 22nd of 22nd, between the 2nd and 26th of July in 2021. And to date, they have all this drama in their report, but have nothing in the report that says that Daniel was driving his vehicle. Right? That's the whole point I'm trying to say, you guys. They were so concerned about certain things, but where's this report at? You did a swabbing, and what you did with it? They came up calling me. Here it is, over a year in 2022. I think late part of last year, I get a call from Detective Biffin asking me for a razor. Hey, think about it, Daniel went missing in 2021. You guys, he had an apartment at his job. Matrix, one of the workers, um, paid up Daniel's rent for 2 months. I think a month or two before we had to take over as a family, right? And this apartment was there to sit in there, right? To sit in there. And not one time did law enforcement Buckeye, if they was really serious about finding Daniel and the information, when I told them, asked them to do this fingerprint, and they said they did the swab. Why you ain't try to go look for do the swab, do this DNA testing then of the swab? I mean, you can put in your report. I swab. Man, they can swab whole Buckeye police department. I don't care. They can swab the streets, swab the bus stop, swab somebody's car walking down the road. I don't care. But what you gonna do with that? You gonna just put it in some closet and sit it somewhere? Almost a year, over a year later, and then say, "Hey, by the way, you got a razor that we can compare. You get DNA for Daniel and compare the." I'm like, what the hell, y'all lunatics or something? They know good and well we dismantled. I mean, I don't know if they did it on purpose. Maybe they wanted, couldn't wait. They're waiting to find out we dismantled his apartment. Oh, he dismantled the apartment. Let's ask for it now. We know he ain't got it. I don't know. I don't know what their purpose is, but they asked me over a year later, you guys, after the apartment being dismantled, like I'm gonna walk around with Daniel's razor in my pocket or something. Or we keeping it for momentum or something, or keep it around the house or something. I mean, it don't make sense to me, you guys. Oh, we then try to blame me, throw it on me. Yeah, he trying to he keeping us from doing the testing because he ain't giving us a razor. Dude, you can't flip that. You can't flip that on me. You're not doing your job. If you really were serious about finding my son, they would have did it the week of. If they would have swapped that on the 22nd, they would have asked me for a razor on the 23rd. You get what I'm saying, you guys? Of 2021. Don't wait to 2023, 2 and 3 to ask for something that's not there no more. So that's why I say there's no real interest. But the DNA testing was done. They claimed, but they didn't do nothing with it. With the swabbing, and mind you, and I'm still gonna back up on this, Anna. They didn't do the testing on the airbags because I got those. They didn't do the testing on the seatings or somebody sitting on the passenger side, driver's side, or whatever, back seat. None of that. The red transfer paint, no. The testing of the clothing items to see if that's Daniel's clothing. They just calling it Daniel. How you know? And I'm saying they saying things as law enforcement officers with on assumptions. If you say you want to find out something, you can't half-fast do the job. Say, well, we want to find out if somebody else was in the Dane's vehicle, so we're gonna swab, but we don't want to test to see if that was his clothes because we're assuming that's his clothes, or just like you're assuming he was driving the vehicle, and until I ask you to do the swabbing of the vehicle, the fingerprinting. So when they put in a report, they make it sound really good, like yeah, they did the fingerprint, but I asked them to. They ain't gonna put in the report. Mr. Robinson demanded in the meeting that we had to do fingerprinting, so we did the swabbing. They ain't gonna write it like that. They're gonna write it for your entertainment. For as they did some hard work or some work. They weren't planning to do nothing. If I was in South Carolina, there wouldn't have been no swab, and that vehicle would have been, I'm sure, in the junkyard somewhere. All the evidence gone. All this never would have been swabbed. None of the stuff would have. I would have been in South Carolina, never came to Arizona. None of the stuff would have been done. So, yes, everything that's been done is because of my efforts and because of you guys been helping me push along. Like I said, again, going back, that goes back to the mail-in protest. You guys, please, by all means, continue with this mail-in protest. We need it. I need them flyers and going, them letters going in there every week, by the hundreds, if I can. We need that to go on, and that goes on to that. So you guys don't forget about the mail-in protest. What we need to do, we need a jurisdictional change. We need Daniel's case moved to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, as well as it is being a criminal, deemed a criminal investigation at this point. And we also need FBI involvement. I'm saying FBI involvement again because there's no evidence the FBI is in the case. When Buckeye says something like they did one time before, you better not bank on it. So I said there's no evidence of the FBI into Daniel's case. People impersonate veterans and Navy SEALs too. Okay, I see some uh, information there. Some guys having some conversation in the chats. But anyway, thank you guys for your questions. If anybody have any more questions, I can get that. I'm real past my almost 30 minutes past my time. But I'm looking real quick to see if there's anything. Let's see. See if there's anything else that I can answer real quick from you guys, and then go on. Uh, I think that's it. I think that's it, you guys. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining in with me tonight. I'm really happy, to be honest with you, with the dropping of the backdrop. One thing that I forgot to do, and I'm going to do it now, so that way it'll automatically be there next time we come on, is to have a, let me see where I want to put it, right here in this corner. There you go. You see that? Boom. And reason why, guys, I dropped the backdrop. I told many of you have been on here, and my slides been not clear, so I'll probably have this especially for the Unity Candlelight Vigil, because I don't need that freeze up and I don't need the slowing. And I talked to the owners of StreamYard and the people of StreamYard, not the owners of people of StreamYard, and they was giving me all this, yeah, the internet, this and that, blah blah. So I did went through all the streams. I mean, you guys, I went through the streams to try to see what all of a sudden why I started acting up, and then I finally narrowed it down. They still don't want to commit to it, but I narrowed it down to the green screen. And I have the green screen up, and I have to project the same little things you guys see right here. Project that behind me. That causes the feed to slow down. It causes it to freeze up, causes the fuzziness and all that stuff. So they need to fix their system. It has nothing to do with the internet. I have high speed internet, and so it had nothing to do with the bandwidth and all this kind of stuff, which I thought was actually blaming on that, but it turned out to be the StreamYard app itself dealing with that. So, like again, like I said, one other person also just subscribed that she was having the same issues with StreamYard right now since they changed some stuff up. But anyway, you guys, thanks so much again for coming in. I don't think I have any more questions. I checked one more last time. I didn't see any more questions, but thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night. Excuse me. And I'll be doing some lives, you guys, because I really hoping and praying that you guys will join in on this Candlelight Vigil. I really need y'all to do that, please. I really need everybody to participate in that. I'm almost like begging. So participate in this. You have missed a loved one, please share the story on Please Help Find Daniel yahoo.com, and I'll put that information up. You want to be part of the on screen, you can do that as well. Just let me know. But families, I need you to come in and support us. Put Daniel's story out there. Put Alicia Navarro, daughter Jessica Nunez up. Jessica Nunez, daughter, I say it backwards, but share the story, and some of the other Mr. Risto, you guys probably remember him as well, and Mr. Graham. God, the blessed part is Mr. Graham's son, he found his son, so that's the good news. Alive, and so that's the good news. But yeah, just wanted you guys to please come in and support these families. But anyway, you have one wonderful night, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you. God bless you.